at the table this morning.
Indeed, it's not only a month of love, it's a month of chocolates as well, you know, yeah. So eat as much chocolate as we can and let's support those farmers.
It's good for your heart.
Yes, it's good for the heart. The dark one. The dark one. It's good for the heart. Yes. So, welcome to the show. It's a beautiful Tuesday morning. Happy Tuesday to you. Things happening all around the world. And it seems like there's a rush of sexual harassment issues because a lecturer at University of Health and Allied Sciences he's been demoted because of
that is just disturbing.
Sexual harassment issues. It's all over the news. Our former coach, Avram Grant, has been stung in an investigation in Israel, and then on top of the Mason Greenwood issues from Manchester United over the weekend, it looks like people are coming out and reporting their issues. Yes. So investigations are happening. People are also coming out. It's good news for those who are doing the wrong thing and have to be caught and to be dealt with by the law. It's great. People in Apiati too, issues are happening there. So I found out that more people have applied for assistance at Apiati than are in the community. So the community has fewer people than people who have applied.
And more than 1,000 people have applied for help. How is that? Ghost names. We must find them.
Not too long ago, we also heard that they were asking for private tents.
Yeah.
Yes, they want to be able to have sex quietly.
The couples.
The couples want private tents. And what do you think of the Apiati issues? I would love to hear from you on that, okay? Yeah, it's very, very interesting developments in Ghana.
You can always join any of our conversations via our WhatsApp platform 05555 or reach us out on our social media handles, and we will love to hear from you. Today, I'll be going into a conversation about the mass vaccination against COVID-19. So we'll find out what our figures now are and how many more vaccines are still in the system, how much time we have before they run out. You know, a booster shot system has also started for the vulnerable and frontline workers. So we'll be looking into those conversations.
Yes, there's a COVID vaccination conversation also on Health Check in just over 20 minutes, and you want to be part of that conversation. Our WhatsApp number always hasn't changed, 055-556-1034.
Valerie?
Hi, good morning from this side. How are you guys?
I did like my name.
From one acoustica to another.
Yes, from one acoustica to another. But we need to get... Do you still see any ADAs around? When I was growing up, I used to see ADAs walking around with the scissors and doing gaga. I think we need to... Have you guys seen any of them around? Good morning, guys. It's GTV Breakfast. We are live on your screens, we are live on your phones, we are live in your offices if you are at work at this time, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. We're also live we're interactive on Twitter and Instagram as the GBC Ghana and GBC Online. And so this morning we're going to be looking at an issue that's on Twitter, and they're discussing young talents, people who are not in the industry. It's a whole hula baloo in there. So we'll be delving into that on our Unearthing Talents. We'll be speaking with a gentleman called Jibrilville. That's a conversation to look forward to. Also, guys, we have someone new coming on to the Yellow Couch, and Quick Credit is on. Yes, Quick Credit is sponsoring the Yellow Couch now, and their tagline is Leading Made Simple. So Quick Credit, welcome to the Yellow Couch. Hey,
the tagline again?
Leading Made Simple.
Okay,
that's nice.
Yes, and I will be looking at traffic around the Hachu Atomic Runabout. That's what and then we'll be keeping an eye from the imminent closure of public universities, and then also we'll be looking at the national launch of Operation Clean Your Frontage. Alan and Jay are already on ground, so we'll be bringing you, when we connect with them, we'll surely connect with you too, and the hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast, guys. Handing over to you too.
Okay, we're live on DSTV channel 278, so you can watch us there as well. It's good to have you here. We always start with something that will inspire you from Dr. Kofi Osei Kusi, and it's titled Wisdom at the Workplace. Please stay with us.
It's a good morning to you. Good to see you again on the Wisdom Nugget for the day. A nugget a day helps to keep the problems away. we're still around the discussion of wisdom for the workplace, ideas and concepts that can help us win in our workplace. And today I have a question for you. Are you an employer or an employee? Are you an employer or an employee? What's your answer? Do you work for someone or you work for yourself? The employer works for himself or herself, and the employee works for somebody else. I've done a couple of training in different places, and for most places, as you can imagine, most people are employees. And after some discussion, I realized that everybody eventually realizes that they are never employees, they are actually employers as well. And so in the workplace, you have one employer employing the other employer. So it's not so much about employer-employee, we are all employers. Look, everybody's self-employed. My definition of self-employment is you took yourself to that place to work. If nobody put a gun on your head and said, hey, move, come to work at 6 o'clock. If you don't come, I'm killing you. If nobody's actually on you, killing you to do what you're doing, then you are self-employed. If you took yourself to be employed, then you are self-employed. You were there willingly. I think the only people that are not self-employed are prisoners under hard labor. And they have to do what they have to do because somebody's compelling them to do them. But as far as you and I are concerned, if you're a teacher teaching in the school, you are self-employed. You are an employer offering your services to another employer. Now, it makes a huge difference whether you see yourself as an employee or whether you see yourself as an employer. Because when you are an employer, you think differently. You act differently. You are at work on time. You sleep with the business. You are thinking about how can this business expand. You're thinking about how can I take care of the expenses? How can I be innovative? You're thinking about how do I treat my customers so well? And yet, when you are a typical everyday employee, that is none of your business. You just show up at the work. They give you work, you do it. They don't give you work, you are sitting there. You can treat people anyway, anyhow. If the business messes up, it doesn't affect you. And so your whole attitude is so different. But for those that have discovered the key and the wisdom and beginning to see themselves as employers, because you actually have a gift, you actually have a talent, you actually have a skill which you are selling to somebody else. And so you are the owner of it. And when you're going there as somebody who is there to add value. That other person is going to treasure you more above the other people that are seeing themselves as pure employees. Hey, simple nugget for us today. Begin to kindly see yourself as an employer wherever you are. You may be the least within that structure, but see yourself as somebody who is talented with some skills that is offering to these people. And you want to offer it the best way you can. It's just a matter of time. We will see the difference between the employees and the employers. I'll see you again on the Wisdom Nugget for your day.
It looks like it's winter in some parts of Ghana, 17 degrees around the Bolga area. Well, we hope you're keeping warm, and the breakfast show will help make your day start much warmer. Thank you for joining us. We're looking into our social media trends. And yesterday, guys, so I was reading this thing about thieves stealing a pathology report.
Wow.
So, JB Dankwa, you know the case is in court.
Former MP.
And the pathologist who worked on who did his autopsy, who did the postmortem, says the report has been stolen by thieves.
It's a lie.
Were you there?
What is a thief going to steal a pathology report for?
But he doesn't have it anymore. And he's being honest. He's come out to say the report is missing. So,
Why?
you know, the former MP who was murdered in Nebuakwa North.
Yeah.
Yes, so
the thief went into the office and just picked that report?
No, but the report, I mean, how was the report printed out? Is it not, does it not have a soft copy? Is it not on soft copy? Is it not saved on a computer?
Good questions.
Even if the person typed it on the phone, is it not there?
Beautiful questions. You should be a lawyer.
Okay.
Beautiful
but
questions.
It's not the same Ghana where some
cocaine
turned into some powder sometime
ago.
This thing was said in court. So he was addressing an Accra High Court on the trial of the late MP, and he said the results cannot be traced.
No, we can't accept that.
How were the results printed out in the first place? Was it stolen a soft copy or a hard copy? If it's a soft copy, does it not have copies in the computer?
So you're asking if they perhaps hacked into the computer as well?
You're even
and hacked into the
thing
cloud.
Was typed on something.
I mean, it should be in the cloud. I mean,
good question.
This is a very high-profile case, and from the few movies we've seen, yes. I mean, how high-profile cases are like, you know, you give it minute details.
So there's a quote here from what he said in court, and the quote reads, "After the post-mortem, I typed the report on my PC. In 2016, while I was at a conference in Germany, thieves broke into my house and packed everything. Because we do have the same information in the police hospital, I accessed it in 2018. So
he found the same information somewhere
he
else.
Accessed it via the police hospital.
So what's the drama? So then the report is not lost.
But that's what he said in court. I'm just reading the quote as the court reporter has also forwarded in the story.
And we are cross-examining.
He found it in 20.
So now I'm defending the pathologist who alleges that the information
okay, so
is
what's the way forward now? Okay, he's found it after 2 years in another department. What's the way forward?
But his one there is missing.
Can we call a lady my lord? Because you're asking great questions, my lord.
No, I'm asking questions anybody would ask. Okay, can we go to the next trend? Since we don't know what's happening next, can we go to the next
trend?
What's the trend?
This one. What is the report is missing?
Tell me, we are in 2022. We have to stop all this.
But why this case in the chair like this?
Because the report was missing.
It's too long.
Because once there are hitches or delays,
it's taking too long.
Those have to be resolved before the case can move on.
It's not a real good reflection on our judicial system when this case can take so long. Can you imagine the trauma that the family is going through, emotional? Anytime they see these pictures and they think about what happened to this young man, it's just too bad. You know, it's just too bad. Some cases are solved so quickly.
The wheels of justice grind slowly.
Yeah, for some people, not for others. A 20-year-old who attempted to steal a motorbike was given 15 years.
Yes. For an attempt.
For attempting to steal a motorbike was given 15 years. That one, the wheels of justice was swift. They were very slow, wing like a jet engine. This one has taken too long. I'm sorry.
Let's leave the court matters to court. And then the place where we can all have our say, football. That one is free for
all. Go?
The transfers.
Okay.
Everywhere, transfers
Who has gone where?
Me, I can only speak for Pierre Obamia,
okay,
who is coming to Barca.
Oh, Oba is going to Barca?
He's signed.
That's a good move.
He's passed his medicals.
No, that's a good move.
Look at him in the Barca shirt.
He's looking at us now. That's the way he's looking at us now. With side eye. Look at him behind you.
Like Oba in a Barca shirt is all the goals. It's all the hype I want this morning.
And he'll do well. He will do well when he goes there.
So, like, I've said my own.
No, I think
if you also have something to share.
I think
on behalf of the Liverpool fans in my life, can I just say...
Check the picture behind you.
The Fabio one. Charlie. This is just...
Who's the other guy?
You're asking. You don't watch Barca games.
It's your team. I don't know.
So I should introduce my players to you.
Yes.
Go and find out.
No, it's not knowledge.
We have fine boys. Valerie, see... Barca guy.
John, give me, who is he? Who's the guy?
I'm on my best behavior today.
This one, we'll go and follow him on Twitter. So let's leave it.
Behavior
so
today.
Christian Eriksen is joining Brentford.
Okay.
Obviously, Pierre Aubameyang has signed for Barca. Dan Burn is joining Newcastle from Brighton. Fabio Carvalho is going to Liverpool. Luis Diaz is also moving to this one from Porto. So that's the hashtag that's trending, deadline day. And it's our guy, you know, our authentic, yes, the sports authentic on Twitter. Caballo to Liverpool. And he says, deal in place for 5-year contract, medical ongoing in order to sign paperwork before deadline. Caballo has accepted all clauses into the contract. There is against time now. He will stay at Fulham on loan. So, confirmed. Dan Burn joins Newcastle from Brighton on 2.5-year contract. Total fee will be 15 million euros. And the window is now over for Newcastle. First one of the new ownership. So
money
moves
house now.
Everywhere. Moves everywhere. Official, Neco Williams joins Fulham on loan from Liverpool. Deal completed and signed just before the end of the window. LFC, the hashtag and deadline day. Definitely a good signal to complete Fabio Caballo deal in the coming months. So it looks like a lot of the young men are doing a lot of moves before the window closes. I think it did close yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. So we're expecting to see so many people in different jerseys than we saw them last season. Jermaine Defoe, he's come back from Sunderland deal, signed, sealed, and Rangers chapter rejoined Sunderland on a free transfer.
I think he should be in Tottenham back then. And then he went to Rangers. He's come back to Sunderland.
Back home, like Cristiano Ronaldo went back to Manchester United. Okay, all right, nice. So many transfers happening. Follow the hashtag deadline day on Twitter. It's actually on my top trends because I'm always following football.
Coach of Everton now, so far.
Lampard?
Yes.
I'm hearing that Dede Ayew may be joining Barca very soon as well. And that's the coach is making some moves.
Why not?
So let's see if it happens. Because now the window is closed. So depending on what time zone you live in, perhaps. I don't know. So if we hear any news from that camp, then that could be worth sharing as well. But you can catch all the sport details and headlines on GTV Sports Plus. Follow them on Twitter at MyGTVSports. That's it for our social media trends. We'll be looking at COVID vaccinations in the next half hour of the show, and it will be our health check conversation after the break. Today, right? So here's an opportunity for you to get a voucher to grab some delicious meals from Cheesy Pizza, any branch that is near you. And we are asking the question, how many political parties are in Ghana? So start counting. Bring out your pens and papers and start counting how many political parties are in Ghana. If you know the answer, send it to our WhatsApp number 055-5561-034, 055-55-61034. How many political parties are in Ghana? Fastest fingers first. The time is now.
Registered.
That's your question.
Producer's question.
And that's our cheesy quiz for the day. We'll be right back after this week.
GBC Studio One. This is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. Oh, yeah, yeah. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pumpy, so we try what's suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button gonna do, we go straight to start. And I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't quote next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet. And the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
I am 7 years old.
I am 4 years old.
We are 12 years old.
It's been 1 year since I started my antiretroviral treatment.
You can live a long, productive life with antiretroviral treatment. With antiretroviral treatment, HIV-positive expectant mothers can have healthy HIV-negative babies. Go to the nearest health center, test and know your HIV status. If you are positive, ask about antiretroviral treatment and you will receive help. Antiretroviral treatment is your only option for a long and fulfilling life.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Well, we'll fix it on after the segment. This is Health Check, and today we're looking at the National COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign. And my guest is Dr. Akosua Sika, AEC, Deputy Director of Public Health, Greater Accra. Good morning.
Good morning, Kafui.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, let's dive straight into business. We hear that the Ghana Health Service will be embarking on a national COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign to help Ghanaians who haven't taken the vaccines to have access to all that they have missed. First of all, what's the state of play right now in Ghana in terms of numbers and people who have taken the vaccine?
Okay, so since March 2021 that we started vaccination, so far as at 24th January, we have about 10 million Ghanaians who have taken the vaccine. Out of that 10 million, 3.3 million of them are fully vaccinated. That means they've either taken their first and second dose, or if they took a single dose, such as Johnson & Johnson, they are fully vaccinated. And we have about 7 million of them who have taken at least one dose and are waiting for their second dose. So generally, that's what has happened in terms of vaccination. Initially, we didn't have a lot of vaccines. I'm sure you knew all the challenges across the world. But over the last few weeks, Ghana has received quite an amount of vaccines. In total, we have received about 25 million vaccines, and we've administered 10 million. I should say, though, that most of about 15 million of them were just received over the last 3 weeks, from the last week of December up till now. So we have about 15 million vaccines available to serve the remaining 10 million Ghanaians who are yet to vaccinate, to enable us meet
our national target of 20 million Ghanaians who require to be vaccinated. So that is generally the state of vaccination. And as a country now, in the month of December, the Minister of Health declared December as the month of vaccination. And I should say that Ghanaians did very well. They came out in their numbers. In December alone, we did about 3 million doses administered just in December. Wow. In January too, we are almost at 2 million so far. As at the middle of January, we're about 2 million. And to climax this month of vaccination celebration, we are continuing with a 5-day vaccination campaign, which is starting from the 2nd of February to the 6th of February. Okay. That's basically tomorrow till Sunday. And the idea is that we want 2.5 million Ghanaians to come out and get vaccinated. So the target is 2.5 million in 5 days. Okay, great. And that is a huge target for health workers to achieve.
I can imagine.
Yes, and we are counting on all of you to help mobilize Ghanaians to come and get vaccinated.
Okay, so on the quiet, Ghanaians have been going around doing the vaccinations?
Yes, yes.
Where are the vaccinations taking place?
So the vaccinations take place in almost all the public health facilities and designated vaccination sites within the various communities. So if you take Greater Accra, for instance, all our districts, hospitals, polyclinics, health centers have vaccination sites. And then we have also, we have other hospitals, private hospitals or quasi-government like Police Hospital, 37 Senate Hospital, Nyaho Hospital, that also provide the vaccines. And then we also use the mobile approaches. So you would see that if you go to church or to the mosque, at one point in time, a group of people have come to your church to do vaccination. So we do both the static approach and then the mobile approach. During the Christmas period, you could see over the holidays, there was vaccination at the beaches. And so diverse approaches are used to reach the Ghanaian. It's not everyone that is willing to come to the health facility, to even take a vehicle to come to the health facility, as that may come at a cost to someone. So the aim of this campaign and there are various approaches is to make the vaccines accessible to all persons across the nation.
Okay, in which areas do we have people who are relatively more vaccinated than others?
Okay, so I work in Greater Accra, so I can speak for Greater Accra. And if you take Greater Accra, for instance, the most highly vaccinated district, if you talk about fully vaccinated, is Adenta. So if you live in Adenta, quite a number of people are vaccinated. The uptake has been very good. The next district is Central, so that's Sowutuom area. Okay. And then we also have the Ayawaso West and Koleklot. Ayawaso West is East Legon, Jowulu, Abelengpe. Yes, Mempasem. Then the areas we are having quite a challenge are the peri-urban areas, so Shai Osudoku, Ningo Pram, then Weja, Bawe, South have very low coverages, and we are hoping that in this campaign, people who live in those areas would come out and get vaccinated.
Are you able to tell why people in Weja and Gasau, the peri-urban areas, are not taking it up as fast as the Adentas and the East Legons?
So it's one is that when the numbers are based on the population density. So these are very the population in these areas are very dense. If you take Weja and Gasau, so then if you look at the way the vaccines were coming initially, then definitely there won't be enough for all the people there. So comparatively, in terms of their population is huge. So it's not just that the people weren't coming, but even the availability. But now we have enough to cover everybody. That's why we are going out hard. Then we also have had challenges with hesitancy in terms of people, the conspiracy theories, people's personal fears and concerns about the vaccine. Definitely you would worry. You see, for most of us, we have benefited from vaccines that were produced long ago. So you will confidently take your child. We are now confident in it. But this is our time. And in our time, we have a new disease. And the new disease is COVID. And in our time, God has been gracious to give us a vaccine. So I think it's also depends on us to come out and take it, so that 20 years down the line, when our great-great-great-great-grandchildren are also taking it, they wouldn't have any fears like we do have now. But it's normal. But with knowledge and information, we're able to address hesitancy gradually.
As it is with these campaigns, you also have some unscrupulous people who are trying to take advantage of the situation. How are you dealing with people like that? People who are possibly even charging, setting up unauthorized vaccination points. How are you dealing with those?
So there are a lot of quality control measures. Number one, there are a lot of supervisors, both at the district level, regional level, national level, and independent partners, so development partners, who are all going around supervising the process. So once there's any challenge, they address it, and then if people are also found guilty, they go through the various disciplinary procedures. So there's a lot of monitoring ongoing. Then we also depend on feedback from Ghanaians. So if you should know that vaccines are free. So if anyone approaches your company and says, I can do this for you, one should cost 50 cedis, you shouldn't take it up.
Have you had any issues like this, any complaints?
We've had a few.
Any reports?
Yes, we've had a few. Okay. Some people were even arrested and investigated by the police, yes. Good. Some even went to court and other things. So the processes are working.
Awesome.
Yes, the processes are working.
Okay. I know there's one that is just a single shot. Which one is that?
That's Johnson & Johnson.
And then the others, what other varieties do you have?
So the varieties we have AstraZeneca. That's also a double shot. You take the second one at a minimum of a month away from the first. Then we also have Pfizer, also a double shot. You take the second one a minimum of 3 weeks after the first. Then we also have Moderna. But now the good thing is that previously we didn't used to vaccinate pregnant women, but over the last few weeks, policies have been updated, and now pregnant women also can be vaccinated with Pfizer or Moderna. And then children 15 years to 18 years can also be vaccinated, and they are all part of the eligible people who will be vaccinating in this campaign. So persons who have never been vaccinated, we are looking for them. Those who have taken, I mentioned that we have about 7 million people who have taken their first dose and haven't come for their second dose, and that is not good, because it gives you a false sense of security that you are fully vaccinated. No, the process is not complete. So we are looking for those 7 million people who have taken their first dose and are yet to take their second dose. Then we are also looking for pregnant women, irrespective of the stage of your pregnancy. So whether in the first trimester, second trimester, or third trimester, we need you over this next...
Doesn't matter when you're taking the vaccine?
No, it doesn't matter.
One day before birth, you can take the vaccine?
It doesn't matter, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine. Because we've seen that without vaccination, COVID in pregnant women causes very severe disease. It's a bit synonymous to hypertension in pregnancy. If you know what hypertension in pregnancy does to the mother and the baby, you wouldn't want to expose a pregnant woman to COVID.
How important is it for you to know what type of COVID vaccine you were given?
I think that...
If you took only one so far.
Yes, so if you took only one, you need to look into your card. Whatever you were given is written in your card, the date you were given it, and then the batch number you were given. So you need to look into it. If it's a Johnson & Johnson, then it means that you are fully vaccinated. If it's Moderna, Astra, or Pfizer, it means that you need an extra dose and you need to come out. Once you've done a minimum of 1 month, at least across board, you are eligible to come for the vaccines in this campaign. We've also introduced the booster dose, and I'm sure you are aware of it. So in this campaign, we'll also be administering boosters.
How soon do you take your booster?
A minimum of 3 months, 3 to 6 months after your primary series. So after your first and second, if you've done 3 months after the second, you are qualified for a booster.
How about the Johnson & Johnson single dose people?
Same. Once if you've done 3 months, you qualify for a booster.
And if you go beyond the 3 months, are there any adverse
no
effects?
Problem. There are no. That's why I say a minimum, but there's no maximum.
Okay. For those who have misplaced their cards, is there a way that they can present themselves to where they went, and then they can back up the information?
Yes, so if you've misplaced, it's not something we encourage, and would encourage Ghanaians to make sure that they keep their card in a safe place. But then if you've genuinely misplaced your card, you can come to the center. The database is there. You provide us with your name and your details, and we'll go through the system and find your name. And then once we confirm that you've taken those vaccines, there's a process that can be initiated to give you a new card.
Last year we heard about the Omicron variant and how fast it was spreading. What is the state of play in your area of operation right now as far as Omicron is concerned?
Thank you. So Omicron was first notified in Ghana somewhere in November, and in December we all saw what it did to our numbers. It pushed us into the fourth wave, and I should say that that wave was the highest ever we've seen in Ghana. It peaked about at a point where we're recording about 1,200 cases a day. This is the highest we've done. We've gone through wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and the highest numbers of cases we've recorded in the day was no more than 400. But Omicron pushed us beyond the thousands. But interestingly, it has been the wave that has dropped massively, and is currently, if I look at my epic curve, is currently rock bottom, and we are now doing an average of 50 to 60 cases a day.
Down from 1,000?
Down from 1,000. And that is the wonder and the beauty of vaccination. Because if you look at the other previous waves, they were high and they were prolonged. So they lasted for 2 to 3 months. People were dying. People couldn't find health facilities. But if you look with Omicron, in a matter of about 4 weeks, we are down. And it had the least hospitalization, the least number of severe disease. But why would you say Omicron did that? It was because of the number of people that were vaccinated at that time. So Greater Accra bore the brunt of Omicron. And if you look at our data, for Greater Accra, we need to vaccinate 3 million of our population. We have a population of about 5.5 million. And for those above 18, we are roughly 3.2 million. So for COVID vaccination, we have a target of 3 million people in Accra to vaccinate. Currently, we've done 2.2 million of those people.
So 1 million to go.
1 million to go, and we are doing close to half of that over the next 5 days. But then the beauty of that is because these people are vaccinated, we're able to get the protective benefits of vaccination within the community, such that when we had an outbreak of Omicron, it was well controlled and it's resolving quite fast.
Are there other variants still misbehaving in the system?
Oh yes, we still continue to have some amount of Delta in the system, and then usually it's the Delta that causes the very severe COVID that leads to ICU care. Omicron so far has been quite gentle on us now.
We thank God for that. Let's take some of your messages. 055-556-1034. So there's a National COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign ongoing to kick off tomorrow all the way to the 6th of February. My guest is Deputy Director of Public Health, Greater Accra, Dr. Akusia Sika Eyisi, and she's got time for your questions, which will be delivered via Thelma.
Hello, Cav. Thank you for the opportunity. Doc, good morning and welcome. Here's a question from Lovelace at Mataiko. He's asking, what are you doing to motivate those who don't want to take the COVID-19 vaccine?
Okay. We are doing a lot. You see, when someone doesn't want to take a vaccine, there are 3 C's we consider. Is the convenience? Is it a convenience problem? So this campaign, for instance, is addressing convenience problems. Some people think the queues are too long, I don't have time to pick a car. So then improving outreach of the vaccine addresses the convenience problems. Then the person has concerns with maybe the vaccine quality or the conspiracy theory, and so there's education. A lot of education is going on, and my being here today is one of the advocacy measures. We are in the schools, we are in the communities, in the churches, doing education, explaining the issues related to the vaccine. So then with that, we're also reaching such people. And then also We also have the challenges with people having problems with the make. So you continue to encourage people and explain what it is to them.
Is that the third C?
So consistency, convenience,
and consent.
And consent.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great.
Another question here. The UK is stopping vaccination. Why not Ghana? Is that true that the UK
No,
is
I'm not aware, but UK has revised some of its COVID policies. One, because it's done sufficient number of vaccinations. Two, it has also done boosters, and currently they feel that the immunity in the community is safe enough for people to take off the masks now.
So perhaps they've attained herd immunity, is that what you're saying?
Relatively. So then they are relaxing the COVID measures, but they haven't relaxed all of them. So they haven't stopped vaccination. They have even gone beyond and have done boosters. And so they are at the peak now for them.
Right. Aaron is asking about the Association of Concerned Doctors claim that the side effect or negative effects of the vaccine outweighs its positive effect. And so he's asking if what you're saying is true, how best can you clarify this?
Okay, thank you. And I just mentioned definitely the benefits of these vaccines do not outweigh the side effects. If you look at the side effects, close to 3 million people have taken the vaccine, 2 million people have taken the vaccine in Accra, and we could tell you that most people had the minor side effects, headaches, pain on the sides, which usually resolve within 24 to 48 hours. The benefits, look at how short the fourth wave has been and the fact that many people didn't die. That is the benefits we want. We want COVID to become just like what it is. That is just a normal viral flu. We get a cold all the time. The Spanish flu came, it killed so many people. Now because of vaccinations, we do not fear those flus again. And that is where we want to get with COVID. And that can be done with vaccination and mainly vaccination.
Aaron again is asking, some section of the population and people still believe that COVID-19 is a myth. How best can we demystify this? And he's also asking, why is COVID-19 so dangerous and what makes it dangerous?
Okay, thank you very much, Aaron, for your question. COVID-19, one, is not a myth. It's a virus which has been isolated. So if you go to Noguchi, very early, Noguchi was able to give us the sequencing to help us know exactly what it was and the kinds that we have. So we've seen what it is. We've seen that it's a virus. We know its composition. So the lab people have seen, if you say typically, the animal that is causing it. Fili. It's been seen. So that's one thing. For you to have a disease, the disease should have a cause. And we've seen what is causing it. So definitely it's not a myth. And then if you've seen people get COVID, not even the mild one, but severe COVID. I've worked in various isolation centers, at the Pansai Isolation Center, Pentecost Isolation Center. And then we've seen and moved people helpless, breathless, dying from COVID. We've seen in the second wave, it was so terrible. When we didn't have vaccines, you find a father, mother, children lying in the ICU, all on oxygen, and they die after the other. I mean, the stories are gruesome. And for you, as a frontliner, you need to be there to see people are drinking tanks of oxygen. Then you know that at a point, I mean, there were weekends that oxygen would be in short supply and would have to mobilize, and there were various companies that were even supporting to help push oxygen into facilities. COVID is not something, and it's something that disrupted the whole economy. Definitely something you don't want to joke about. Look at the deaths. Ghana has been blessed. We've just had about 1,000, a little over 1,000 deaths. But if you look at the US, at Russia, at the UK, the number of people that have died, Brazil, then you should know that this is not something we should joke about.
Yeah.
And here's a concern Joe is making from Ajay Kojo. I took John. If I scan my card, it doesn't open. And a number of people have reported this. You scan the card or try to take a photo of the barcode behind the vaccination card, and it says that there are no records for this person, and they don't know what to do.
So we had a challenge at a point, and I'm sure you all heard of it, with the data system, but that has been rectified. So we asked that all persons whose whose data do not appear once they scan, they should report to the various centers where they did the vaccination or any vaccination center, and then they'll verify their data and then resolve that for them. Especially persons that are traveling out of the country, they need to do that so that we're able to resolve that for them. Thank you.
Mina Hunter Franco Bab of New Edubiase is saying, good morning. Has been preached by health experts over sensitization to boost our immunity. More so, there's this core medicine, what has happened to its efficacy with regards to tackling COVID. So alternatives to vaccinations, perhaps, or additions to vaccinations to better people's chances of beating the disease?
Yes, so I would encourage people to do the additions, not alternatives. I mean, vaccinations are good, but it's also not the only end. That's why I'm still in my max, although I'm fully vaccinated. Because once you vaccinate one, the benefits are that it reduces your risk of disease, and should you get sick, it reduces your risk of hospitalization, risk of severe disease, and risk of death. So it's 4 levels. And definitely you need a strong immune system to be able to fight any disease. So I advocate for healthy eating and all the various good fruits. The president talked about it initially, the contumaries and all that, to help build the immune system, but they are all to complement the entire process to ensure a healthy person. That's why, so there should be a balance. We need it all to have a balance, but I wouldn't say we should do one and leave the other.
And the COA thing, the
for that I can't speak to that.
Okay, so here are a few more. Are there any diverse side effects if one takes only the first dose without the second? The science is asking from Bubiashi.
No, they are, but you are not getting the full benefits of the vaccine. So we are looking for you if you are one of them or sign. About 7 million of you, and we need you to come out during the campaign from the 2nd to 6th to come for your second dose.
Let's find all those signs.
Oh, there are signs. We need to find them.
All right, then. Okay.
Good morning. My question is, those of us who took the Johnson vaccine, are we to take it again? Alexander Ishen is asking from Abilenkwe.
So if
Johnson is the one jab one.
If you took the Johnson, you are fully vaccinated. But if you've done 3 months after the Johnson, you now qualify for a booster. So you can come and have a booster dose.
Some people may refuse to take the jab based on past experience with vaccines. COVID-19 has been with us for quite a period. Is there any alternative in terms of oral drugs that can be recommended as a preventive measure other than the vaccine? That part from Ashomman is asking.
Okay, thank you. Yes, for now, all our vaccines are injectables. We do not have any oral vaccines, but I'm aware that research is ongoing to explore the use of the formulation of oral vaccines. But in country now, we just have injectables.
Here's perhaps my last one. Please, my boss took the vaccine and still had the COVID, very serious one. So now I'm not convinced to take it. I was contemplating to take it, but now
would encourage you to take it, because each individual is different.
You're not your boss.
You are definitely not your boss. Yes, I like that, Kafui. You are not your boss. But then generally, you see, people have, COVID is known to be severe in people with comorbidities. So if you look at our deaths, it's highest in persons who were hypertensive, diabetics, or had a combination, or had other medical issues like cancer, sickle cell. So then people with comorbidities tend to have severe disease, even with the vaccination. But the vaccination gives you a leverage and gives you a stronger ability to fight. So we'll still encourage people to come out and take the vaccine.
Is there any locally made vaccine?
Currently, no, but a lot of work is going on across the Africa region to have a center, and Ghana is working on a center very soon with support from various partners. So very soon we may have a locally made vaccine.
And what about all these herbs that people have been boiling to drink at home? We hear about the neem tree, prekese, and all the local things that people make. Do they help?
I would say that it's complementary. I mean, our traditional medications have always been there. As kids, we all had one form of it or another. And when COVID came, we all used this as adjuncts. So, I mean, you do them, but you do them in balance as well, in moderation. and then also you get your vaccination as a cover. I say you don't do one and leave the other. Everything goes together. The safety protocols, the hand washing, mask wearing, vaccination, everything needs to be together to help us fight COVID.
Right. Thank you, Doc.
Thank
back
you.
to you.
Thank you, Thelma. So take the vax and then take the Percocet also.
Oh, yes.
Before I let you go, what's the strangest conspiracy theory you've heard?
I think the strangest thing was when they said the vaccines are meant to clear all Africans, but you realize that even the whites have taken it more than we have. Some people have taken a first dose, second dose, first dose, second dose, first booster, second booster. Some people are on their third boosters. So if it's meant to clear Africans, then why would they be? Then definitely they should be cleared. And people say they are waiting to see if those of us who took it first will die. But we are almost a year down the line.
We are still here.
And we are still here. So definitely I don't think these things work. And conspiracies have always been there when it comes to vaccination. With even our old vaccines that we know, measles, polio, we've had people that have spoken against it. And most of these people are the ones also doing the war against the COVID vaccine. But I would encourage Ghanaians, look back, look at the time. If you've lived long enough to see polio, you live long enough to see measles, look back at those times, look at smallpox, when the whole world had to battle with that. And look at what the vaccines, the smallpox vaccine, yellow fever vaccine, polio vaccines has done for us as humanity. Look back on those days and have that confidence to go for the COVID vaccination.
Thank you very much. So a quick reminder, the vaccination campaign kicks off.
It takes off
tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
okay.
Wednesday to the 6th. And it's happening in all districts in Greater Accra, all the 29 districts, and then 3 sub-metros, and then across all the regions, so all 16 regions in Accra. There are various flyers that are showing the vaccination sites, but if you can't find, just walk confidently into any public health facility, so a government hospital, any government hospital, and ask for the vaccination, and you will be provided with it. And then they'll also be coming to your communities. They may be coming door to door and all that. And we encourage the community members to help us with mobilization, especially employers can also reach out and request for their staff to be vaccinated so that the teams can come. Usually when you have a big pool of people, it's easier and it works faster. And then we'll be able to achieve our target much faster than going step by step. So we plead that people help with the mobilization. Churches, the mosque, the old school unions can gather, chiefs can get their people together, friends can come together, families can come together. So Kafui together with all your brothers, your children, your teenage children, we are looking for them, the 15-year-olds, they all can come.
Got 2 of them.
And you've got 2 of them. I hope they are vaccinated with Pfizer.
You see now.
You see now, bring all of them, let's vaccinate them.
All right.
And then so that we also achieve our 2.5 million in 5 days target.
Thank you so much. If
Thank
there's a
you
trophy
so
for the
much.
people of Adenta, give it to me. I'll go and give it to them.
Oh,
I used
you
to
live in
live there.
Oh, you need
yeah,
to
I'm
go
so
back.
proud of them. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kafui.
Dr. Akosia Sika, she's the Deputy Director of Public Health, Greater Accra. Remember, from the 2nd of February to the 6th of February, this National COVID-19 Vaccination Days campaign is on. Make sure that we are vaccinated so we can kick COVID out forever. All right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy your day.
You too.
And still to come, there's a rush hour, and there is a headlines, and then there's a chat with Dr. Insia Sari, advisor to the President on Health, looking at, COVID issues. You stay with us. WhatsApp number is 055-556-1034. How have you stepped into the first day of the brand new month? Let me know, all right? Stay with us.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.
Joe, where are you? Timmy, where is Daddy?
I don't know.
Joe! Please, have you seen my husband?
No, please.
Joe, is that how you are? Timmy and myself, we've been looking everywhere for you.
It's malaria. I tested positive.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's malaria. He needs Atenate.
Atenate is an anti-malarial that comes in small caplet for adults and flavored suspension for children.
I'll give it to my husband myself.
Let her take care of me.
I'll take care of you.
Thank you, okay?
It's okay, baby. Don't worry, okay? Daddy is not going anywhere again.
Atenate, your ultimate quality ACT anti-malarial, is available in a pharmacy and over-the-counter medicine shop near you. Test for malaria before treatment. If symptoms persist after 3 days of treatment, please consult your doctor. Atenate, see malaria quine. This advert is FDA approved.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try our suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we dey go straight to start. And I gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the
That's the crab on the beat.
Every day by day, I just they celebrate. Oh. Everything I do, we just they penetrate. Oh. I just want to.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
On GTV.
Good morning, my name.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your fish and vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes,
yeah. Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Botras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
I'm tipping Burkina to beat them and get to the final and win. Yeah, so whether they get carried away or not is not my wala. Me, I just want my Burkina people to win. Okay, lots of headlines, but let me first of all introduce my guests. Professor John Kokumoto is Dean for the School of Graduate Studies, UPSA, and he's been joined by Dr. Eric Odrum, Osai, Governance Expert, Director General, Internal Audit Agency. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
The whole year I haven't seen you, Doc.
Yes, we haven't.
Happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
How is the Internal Audit Agency?
Internal Audit Agency is not doing badly at all.
Okay.
We are expecting reports, the annual performance report for 2021.
Yes.
And then also the work plans for 2022. The deadline expired yesterday.
Okay.
So today, as I go to the office, I'll compile the list of default institutions.
And then you feature them in the paper.
I'll feature
again.
them in the paper in the second week of February.
One time. We look forward to that. Yes. Prof. Malto, how's it going? What's new at UPSA, apart from your haircut?
That's a professorial haircut.
I just read another good news that one of our, I think the first batch of our degree students has just been appointed as executive secretary of PURC. So
oh, awesome.
Good news for you.
Awesome. Great stuff. Well done to all of you. Let's do rush hour, and then we'll come back and look at the headlines in today's papers.
Hello again. It's a bright Tuesday morning and we're looking at what traffic looks like. We are going to the Legon area around the Oponglo Junction area. Our guy Jay is already on standby to show us what traffic looks like. So we'll be connecting with him shortly. Remember that we are live on Facebook as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, live on YouTube as the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. It's GTV Breakfast, and Jay is on our screens. Good morning, Jay. What's happening? What can you report? Is the traffic thick or light?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eva. Welcome. It's hashtag GTV Breakfast. Time now for your live rush hour updates. You know, usually you just log into your Google Maps and wherever you're headed, it shows you all the alternative routes and avoid all the traffic situations if you can. So this morning, the live updates, we are here at Oponglo. Well, you can tell it's a bit of a sea of traffic, especially for those who are coming from the Madina area. You can tell right behind me that the cars go as far as the eyes can see. And what's happening at the moment is also a scene of chaos because the traffic lights are not working steadily. So what happens is, for sometimes it remains on red. So you realize that for those who are trying to enter Legon, they now have to maneuver their way because what happens is the traffic light is not working. So now drivers have to force their way into Legon and all that. And if you turn your attention towards Oponglo, as a result, there was a car that was parked there, and because of that, another vehicle ran into it, but it's just been towed away. So you can tell, for those who are coming from the American House area, about Leshi and all that, they are also now at the traffic light thinking it's working, but there's also that situation for them. So I hopefully, though, the police will come here and attend to this mess directly, because that's what is happening at the moment. It's a scene of chaos because without the traffic light working, it's like a free-for-all, everybody just moving at their own pace. So for those coming from the Baoleshi area, there isn't that much traffic for them unless they get to the main road. The same situation applies to those who are heading into Legon. There isn't that much traffic for those heading into Legon, and it's just on the main road, especially for those now heading towards Shiashi, going towards the main business district, going 37, going to Madina. You can see it's just a sea of red, you know, the tail lights and everything, just red. And, you know, with the upcoming increase in the fuel prices, some drivers have complained that, like, waking up early this morning, And being in this traffic is not really productive for them. And with the increase, spending all this time in traffic is going to affect them because it's affecting their livelihoods already. If something can be done to mitigate their circumstances, it will help. Because to wake up and just come and spend time in all this traffic, it's not productive at all. So in terms of the live Russia update here at the Oponglo traffic lights, this is what we have for you, Valerie. Back to you.
Traffic looks like. So if you're coming in from the Oponglo area, the Legon area, heading into main Accra, you might want to log on to your Google Maps to look for some alternative routes because traffic is mad up this morning. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Thanks, Val. Thanks, Jay. Let's go into our headlines. Today's Daily Graphic leads with a story on some 25 bridges which are near completion, and the government is to take delivery of them in March. UTAG is the University Teachers Association of Ghana. One of their members is here. They are ready to negotiate. Interesting. There's something interesting happening also today in terms of cleaning your frontage. It's an operation that begins today with the man in charge, the Greater Accra Regional Minister, the ground to deal with issues. Government hands over 150 vehicles to SHSs and agencies. Iyoko committed to fighting organized crime. Well, we expect nothing less. Yes, we do. Now, Ghanaian Times. Ghana launches 5-day campaign to push for herd immunity. I just had a conversation with Dr. EC on that a couple of minutes ago. You can catch the stream on Facebook and on YouTube. More headlines from the Ghanaian Times. We have don't charge subscribers for SIM registration. Telecommunication Chamber. JB Dankwa murder case post-mortem examination report stolen. That was one of the trends this morning on the social media trends. And then the Finder has these couple headlines here. 20% expenditure cut, well accepted by bond market, says the Bank of Ghana. Security situation in Ghana, very poor, according to a CDD report. Since we have a lecturer here and an academic, let's start with UTAG issues. Page 16 of today's Daily Graphic looks at some developments in the strike action that was undertaken by public universities all around the country. So the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, has said it's ready to negotiate, but the posturing of the employer is not welcoming. Oh, okay. President of UTAG, Professor Solomon Nunu, said even though the university teachers had heard the calls to return to the lecture theatres, there were no concrete milestones on the table towards meeting their demands. He says lecturers don't want to be in and out of the lecture rooms, but we're prepared to agree on key milestones and see commitment from the government side before they could call off the strike. So the reasons for the strike, the willingness of UTAG, the timelines, the market premium, these are all issues that are on the table. Prof. Malto, so you people are ready to negotiate, but the government is playing tough. Is that it?
Let me first of all greet US as well as my senior colleague. I think for the whole of this year, this is the first time I'm seeing you.
Yeah.
So happy New Year.
Many happy returns, my brother.
And happy to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's unfortunate we are where we are today, but thank God and there's some level of achievement, some milestones for the fact that our executives are really working for us, and also the fact that, I mean, we are ready to negotiate. Kafui, I don't think any of us want to strike. We are not happy striking. Our job is to teach and then train minds. And if today we have to strike, it means that there has been consistent.
I'll take a quick break. We need to sort something out and then I'll come back to you. So hold that thought in your mind.
All right.
You're watching GTV Breakfast. We'll be right back.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Joe, where are you? Timmy, where is Daddy?
I don't know.
Joe! Please, have you seen my husband?
No, please.
Joe, is that how you are? Timmy and myself, we've been looking everywhere for you.
It's malaria. I tested positive.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It's malaria. He needs Atenate.
Atenate is an anti-malarial that comes in small capsules for adults and flavored suspension for children.
I'll give it to my husband myself.
Let her take care of me.
I'll take care of you.
Thank you, okay?
It's okay, baby. Don't worry, okay? Daddy is not going anywhere again.
Atenate, your ultimate quality ACT anti-malarial, is available in a pharmacy and over-the-counter medicine shop near you. Test for malaria before treatment. If symptoms persist after 3 days of treatment, please consult your doctor. Atenate, see malaria quine. This advert is
and they call me Eugene. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try our suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we go straight to start. And I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't code next level. Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Good to have you here. So the good news is that UTAG is ready to negotiate. The bad news is that they don't like the posture of the government. And they said even though they've had the calls to return to the lecture theatres, there were no concrete milestones in the table towards meeting their demands. Just to take it away from the issues, because I know you don't speak as an executive of UTAG, Professor Malto. When these strikes happen, how do you lecturers feel when you don't have to do the work?
Like I mentioned earlier, we are not all happy. I mean, we are not happy for, striking, staying home, knowing very well that people have paid fees, parents have paid fees, and we have to get where we are today. Indeed, our executives are working for us, and it's also important to note that in spite of, all that we are saying, look, there should be some improvement in our salaries, especially our basic salaries, and I'm happy it's being worked on. Once again, please, I don't speak for you.
No, I made that disclaimer.
But I am a member of UTAG, so I have the right to express my opinions and also submit my beliefs in this negotiation. So, in order not to take executive government and we all have children, family members. It's instructive to it's in good faith as I think the government must sit and tell UTAG, meet UTAG, our executives, and then present to the table what they have. I know currently we are facing some level of liquidity issues as a country, But in all this, Kafi, do you know who I blame most? I blame the government. You know, often than not, whilst we are being asked to tighten our belts, sometimes we see some level of extravagancy in terms of spending and some officials. So unions tend to rise and will not listen to whatever you want to say. So it is very important that the government should take a second look at their posture. UTAC executives are humans, and very important, they are Ghanaians. And you have to craft a very good strategy in meeting them and meeting our demand. Sorry, even if you cannot meet all the demand, but please try as much as possible to meet our demand so that we return back to the classroom to do what we love most. Kafi, I am a teacher. What I love most is to teach. But I wouldn't want to go to the nitty-gritty of what is happening. But hopefully, I know there will be some victory for UTAG as well as Ghanaian students. Very, very important.
Okay, thank you very much. You want to take a bite at this issue? Well, it looks like there is progress.
Yeah.
If it's little, still progress.
Definitely, there is progress, and I want to congratulate both UTAG and the government on this occasion. I think industrial dispute can be solved or resolved in 2 ways, or in 3 ways, either mediation, negotiation, or arbitration. Under the Labour Act, it is true that if the NLC gives directives and the striking party fails to comply, they can go to court. And NLC has exercised its powers under the Labour Act. But our appeal to the 2 parties to settle the matter out of court.
How does it work? I mean, what you have UTAG, you have the government, which is the employer, and then what is the role of NLC?
The NLC is to resolve the issue. The NLC is the state institution to ensure that there is industrial harmony.
So they're like a referee of some sort?
They come in to resolve. They can't be a referee. They come in to resolve the matter because it's a state institution. Okay. They are to ensure that the staff or the striking party gets their due. They are to ensure that government respects the Labour Act. In fact, they are to ensure that the Labour Act is implemented to the latter.
So they are like an enforcer or something?
Sort of. So they cannot be on the side of government. They cannot be on the side of the striking party.
Is that not the problem, though? Because I've heard some UTAG executives say that they feel that the NLC seems to be always speaking the voice of the government.
But UTAG should understand that the NLC is a state institution. In the same vein, the NLC would have to ensure that UTAG and its members get their due. Your labor right is very important, and that is the role of NLC. So NLC is to enforce the law. So my advice is that they should settle this out of court because it is affecting the academic calendar, and I'm particular about law students who are due to write the law examinations come August or July. They can't finish the academic, they are teaching or their semesters. Most of the universities are fee-paying students. These students pay fees 100%. What are you doing to them? I was expecting that UTAG and its members would have some arrangement for the fee-paying students. But once you do that, you have also discriminated against the other Ghanaians who are non-fee-paying students, because they are all Ghanaians. So it's a situation that is not good for all of us. Because it is then pushing parents to start getting their awards into private universities, which is not the best. Because what then happens to parents who do not have money to take their children to the private universities? So my simple advice is that government should make itself available to meet with UTAG. This issue can be resolved out of court.
You really think so?
I think so. It can be resolved out of court. UTAG members are human beings. Government is not happy about the strikes because if UTAG strikes, doctors strikes, it is not good for good governance. So in government's own interest and in the supreme interest of the country, I would suggest that they settle this matter out of court. And it is good UTAG is saying that government is not ready to negotiate or to sit with them. Now they have shifted the blame to government. Government should come out and then demonstrate to Ghanaians that they are prepared to sit with UTAG, and this issue can be resolved. Like I said, under the Labour Act, industrial disputes can be resolved in 3 ways, either negotiation, either mediation, or arbitration. If all fails, they use the legal way. But I think we've not gotten to that level. So please, UTAC leadership, consider the interests of the students and the interests of the society at large. Government, consider the good governance that you want us to see in this country, and then meet with them. And I believe that the two parties will be able to resolve this issue out of court.
Because there's a risk, a serious risk that if after 21 days of striking, the schools can actually be shut down. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's true. And I think we are almost there. The strike began, I think, about on the 10th of January. So I think this week.
We're quite dangerously close to the 21 days.
Yeah. But hopefully, I'm so hopeful that we wouldn't get there.
What happens when the school is shut down?
It means the academic work has to be stalled, and virtually all activities on campus have to be stalled.
And Kafo, you remember in 1995, it happened in this country. It happened in this country, and it went past the 21 days. The academic calendar was thrown out. So those who are supposed to enter university in 1995 entered in 1996. Those who are supposed to graduate in 95 had to graduate in 96. And it pushes somebody's success in life by 1 year. And it affects management of this kind. The way our education is becoming, if you push that academic calendar by 1 year, we are in serious trouble. Look at the backlog we have to cover.
That is it. That's the issue.
Backlog. You know, so I know we will not get there. They are listening to us. Government is listening to us. The two parties will have to sit in the interest of Ghanaians, not in their personal interest. No, they are all serving us in the interest of Ghanaians. UTAC executives are working for Ghana. The government of Ghana is working for Ghanaians. They should sit and, in the interest of Ghanaians, resolve this issue.
And Kafi, do you know it also have economic-related issues, especially the communities we stay in? The Medina economy, as well as the Hacho economy, and then the surroundings around this, this university. Trust me, economic-related issues comes to a halt. Finances of the people within these enclaves comes to a halt, and this is what most of them are so much concerned with, especially even when we go on long vacation. You know, the economic activities of Medina.
Talk to us about the Medina economy.
I'm telling you, the local economy of Medina strives on students of UPSA as well as University of Ghana, rentals, food.
Photocopy.
It provides employment to the community of Medina. Okay, so that is why I so much resonate with the submission of my senior colleague that indeed the government must ensure that the very governance he promised Ghanaians, okay, it's well implemented by addressing this issue. Very, very important. We shouldn't get to the stage where we have to shut down our universities. We are only talking about University of Ghana, East Legon, and University of Professional Studies, but the other part of the country as well. You go to Cape Coast, UCC will be shut down. Just take into consideration the economic activities of the people living around University of Ghana, KNU, the same thing. So it is not just about academic exercise coming to a halt, but the economic implication of the people living around such enclaves. Very, very important.
And the rentals. You know, people are, when you go to University of Cape Coast, Apple and 8 environs, people will go and then pay rent for 1 year. And then 1 year time is running. So they don't care about the academic calendar. You go to the Pentagons of the University of Ghana, you have paid for 1 year, time is running. You go to KNUST, you go and pay, time is running. So you cannot go back and tell them that because the academic calendar was suspended, I have to make good use of the rent I have paid. No.
No refund.
So, no refund. No refund. You know, so it has its own effect. Aside that, some of the students are still in school. They don't know their fate. And all kinds of things can happen. You know, the devil give work to the idle hands. You know, definitely.
And then you see a spillover going into. So maybe then this might even want people to push people to go into the private universities instead of the public universities.
That's what I was telling you. That look, come if you are not very careful, it will get to a point where people looking into the future would say that look, forget about the public universities. Let me send my word to the private university. In fact, now there are people who are contemplating moving the awards from the public university to private university, if they are in the level 100 and level 200. In fact, by this time, I will be expecting the private universities to be devising schemes of absorbing these students to come in, because it is a marketing opportunity for them as well. Indeed. Because if I'm a parent and I have my ward in the university first year and this is happening, and I think they are wasting my ward's time, either I look for a university outside the country or look for any of the good private universities and take my ward to the place. Exactly. But I hope we don't get there. That is why I have so much confidence in the leadership of UTAC and in the government negotiating team to meet with them and resolve this issue.
All right, 055-556-1034. If you are part of the Medina economy, depending on UPSA students and UG students to run your business, photocopying, rentals, food, transport, Uber, I'd love to hear from you. I'm sure you must be following this news with keen interest, because if they shut down those schools, your business it will take a big hit. Let us know, 055-556-1034. Today is a big day, not only because January has finally gone, but it's because Operation Clean Your Frontage begins. And after months of sensitization, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council's Operation Clean Your Frontage kicks off today, with about 30,000 people expected to be deployed in the capital city to start a massive cleanup campaign. I was shown in SMS, I think all national service people in the Greater Accra region got an SMS to report to Black Star Square. I think they're going to do some cleaning business as part of the national service. So it's a big deal, and I want to just throw it over to Valerie, because it's a keep an eye that we're going to be having right now, which has something to do with Operation Clean Your Frontage. Valerie has all the details, and she will release them.
Oh. Right, and Operation Clean Your Frontage has begun in earnest. Then my guy Alan is on the ground. We are starting from Circle because we hear that everything has been cleared. So Alan will be on our screen shortly, and let's see how the exercise is ongoing. And what about you? Are you cleaning your frontage? Do you have people coming over? Have you seen any national service personnel? What's happening when it comes to Operation Clean Your Frontage? Are your gutters clean? Are your compounds clean? Let us know via the hashtag GTV Breakfast, and also on our WhatsApp 055-556-1034. Remember, you can join the conversation on YouTube and Facebook, because we are streaming live from there. And Alan is at Circle now behind. Alan, what's happening?
Hi, good morning, Valerie, and welcome to the Kwame Nkrumah Interchange. Circle we commonly call it, as part of Operation Clean Your Frontage, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council embarked on a sensitization program to ensure that all hawkers and traders on private trade, especially on the sidewalks of the Kwame Nkrumah Interchange, are clean. And pedestrians will no longer use the round as much as the drivers or commuters do use them. Had taken place, and due to the regional minister's word, a massive clearing had taken place around here. So if Bukana come to my left, and they've all been taken.
Right, and so the video currently on our screens is from the Circle interchange overhead, and Alan is currently on site, and we're looking at Operation Clean Your Frontage. And so the images you're seeing now is from Circle, and we still see debris, but Alan is trying to get some people to speak to, so we'll actually bring you the nitty-gritties as to what's happening. But the images you're seeing now is from the Circle overhead area, and it's Operation Clean Your Frontage, so we are looking at that, and those are some images you can see on there. It's supposed to begin today. That's a directive from the Honorable Henry Korte, It's supposed to begin today, February 1, and so we're looking at that, and we're at the Circle interchange overhead. We are looking at Operation Clean Your Frontage. It's begun, but we are still seeing clusters of debris. We are yet to see any officials, anything. It's just normal, at a normal Circle day. It's just a normal Circle day, which... Give me a newspaper. Let me read it. Let me read it. The month of sensitization, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council's Operation Clean Your Frontage kicks off today with about 30,000 people expected to be deployed in the capital city to start a massive cleanup campaign. The campaign is an audacious policy by the GARCC, an initiative of the Regional Minister, Mr. Henry Korte, aimed at dealing with the sanitation challenge in the country. The 30,000 people, made up of 20,000 national service persons, officials of NATMO and the security agencies, will also engage in a massive sensitization in the central business district, principal markets and convergence places such as the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and that's where Alan is stationed now. The images you are seeing is from the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, and I'm also kind to encourage residents of Accra to get involved in the GRACC's initiative. The 30,000 people are expected to first assemble at the Black Star Square to receive briefings on the program before they are deployed to their various working areas. Now, this initiative follows the passage and gazetting of the bylaws under the policy, which are yet to be implemented by the 29 metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the region. The policy is to make it mandatory for all individuals and organizations to take responsibility for the cleaning and greening of their immediate environments. So ahead of the exercise, Mr. Korte met key stakeholders to brief them and solicit their cooperation and support for the successful implementation of this drive. Now, the stakeholders dialogue included the leadership of all transport unions, the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, Market Queens, and some municipal chief executives. Well, it starts today, and the visuals you are seeing are currently from the Circle interchange, and our guy Alan brought us those visuals. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We are sure to bring you more sights and sounds from the capital as we begin Operation Clean Your Frontage today. The hashtag to follow is GTV Breakfast. We are still dealing with headlines where we are discussing what's trending on online portals, in newspapers. The video you're watching now is from Circle. It looks clean. Well, it usually isn't this clean. So the piled debris we see is probably what has been piled by the national service personnel, the people who are cleaning the streets, but we're yet to get confirmation from that. We are sure Alan, we'll get Alan shortly. But before we get to Alan, I'm sure Alan is trying to get some people. You know what Alan usually does. So, hey, hold your horses. It's still GTV Breakfast. I'm handing over to Kaf. We'll get back to you shortly with more from Operation Clean Your Frontage. Kaf.
Thank you very much, Valerie. And thanks for those details that you gave us. 30,000 people comprising 20,000 national service persons and 10,000 other people from NADMO and security agencies. So the whole thing is to start with a sensitization program, after which they will converge on other places to encourage residents of Accra to get involved in the GARCC's initiative. So the sensitization will take place in the Central Business District, principal markets, convergence places. It's a laudable initiative, Dr. Osai. But the thing is a deep thing. Oh. Is it not a mindset deeper than what we're doing? I mean, it's great, but sustainability. Oh.
Yes, Kafui,
it's a deep thing.
It is about attitudinal change. Yeah. And it's already a function of the local government to do that, to lead the process. So I'm happy the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council is exercising their monitoring and coordinating powers to ensure that this happens. But it is important for people to understand that the national service persons, the NADMO, they are not the ones to do the work for them. They are to encourage them and lead them to do it. Now, NADMO and national service will not be there every day.
No.
It should be institutionalized. It should be a cultural thing. People must understand that it is their responsibility and their duty to clean their frontage or to keep their place neat. So that is where the sustainability bit comes in. And I'm happy there's a bylaw to that effect. While they have the bylaws, they should tweak the bylaw in such a way that there are biting sanctions within the bylaws, so that after this process, if citizens fail to clean their frontage, the assemblies should be bold enough to enforce these bylaws, working with the district courts. You know the era of Saman. This era of Saman, where we have the town council people coming in to inspect the environment and all of that. Those days, when you hear that the town council person or the Sawasama man is coming, people run to clean their environment. We have to reintroduce this.
Are we a people who respond to threats?
We don't respond to threats, but I think that we need to be conscientized and then awareness raised. You see, Ghanaians are people who want to understand the why of a policy, and that is the bit that policymakers get wrong. In policy formulation, if you want to get implementation right, carry the people along. Let them understand how the policy benefits to them. If you fail to send that signal, you will not get results. On this occasion, I believe that the briefing will send that signal, and it will create the awareness among Ghanaians that it is their duty and their responsibility to do that. We are just leading the way. But if you fail to do what you're supposed to do, the bylaws would come after you. Except that we are slow in implementing the bylaws, again, because of political influence. But I think if we depoliticize the implementation of bylaws and go all out and implement the bylaws to the letter, we'll see some improvement here. It is a good start, but they should work towards sustaining it.
Professor Malto, I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Like the carrot and stick approach, okay, for every policy you should have the reward and then the sanctions. Okay, so this just to also add a little bit to what my senior colleague has submitted. It's very important that, look, sanitation, the way and manner we manage sanitation in the past is not the same as we are doing today, or as we should do today. Why? You know, unlike the previous years in the past where we have some idle hands, okay, in various, households. Today, it is very, very difficult to even get people in the house after 7 o'clock. Idle hands.
Oh, all those people playing dummy and things. We see that when we go to town, you see people playing. You see people playing. You see drafts. You see sitting down there.
It will depend on the time.
Those approach is just, I would say, it's a short-term approach which probably may not be sustainable. What we need to do is to accept that, look, sanitation is a whole business, okay? It's even an avenue to create employment for people. Let's admit that the way and manner we manage sanitation in the past, like a household thing, it has changed. We need to get people to do the work and get them paid. Look, there should be sanctions. Indeed, when you are introducing a policy, you draft a policy, you want to implement policies, the policy must go with moral suasion as well as sanctions. To the average human, it's not a Ghanaian thing, it's a human thing. To the average human being, okay, irrespective of that level of reward as motivation, there should be some level of sanction. If you don't comply with this, the arrangement, if you don't comply with the policy, there should be a provision to punish you. And once again, I recall in the past where people are scared. Parents, I quite remember those days, we manage our own refuse. There's a central place we dump our refuse. So it is shared among the people in the household. Today, I don't think we have same, because we have trucks coming to, offload it, and then we pay them. That's one aspect of it. But the
the other aspect is managing other community, areas. Okay, your frontage is your responsibility. So you expect the government or the municipal assemblies as well as the district assemblies to put up measures to ensure that people comply. So there should be that level of monitoring and supervision. You supervise to ensure that, look, people should comply with the bylaw. It is a responsibility of households to keep the frontage of their houses clean. That is unnegotiable. But trust me, moral suasion wouldn't work to the latter. The only way is to ensure that people will comply. And to comply, you need people to monitor them. People must be sanctioned for not complying. So it is not, how long can you use over 20,000 national service persons? It doesn't even sit well. It doesn't sit well. Probably it is the educational part of it, trying to conscientize people that indeed there's a need for you to mobilize resources and then clean your frontage.
Okay. I'm going to pick up what you said on the educational bit, because there's this saying that you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. I'm going to look at the curriculum, what we teach our children right from kindergarten, and to see whether there's a component on sanitation and cleanliness and the whole civics thing. Because I know, for example, there was one particular World Cup where we were amazed by the behavior of the Japanese fans,
that is it,
who after every game, without any prompting, without any threats, they picked up after them. They picked up. In fact, to the point where when the Japanese team exited the company, the competition, they cleaned up their dressing room, and left a card there. I think this was in Russia. They said, thank you very much for hosting us. It was the Russian World Cup.
Yeah.
So these are people who, right from school days, from kindergarten, you are taught not to litter. I understand when you're in public transport, you keep your rubbish on yourself.
Yeah.
You cannot throw stuff away.
Yeah.
So there's a certain conscientization right from the time you can start talking or walking. So it's with you all the way to become an adult, and you can't change those things. It will be interesting to see how we we educate the young ones, the new generation, on cleanliness, sanitation.
It's gradually coming.
It's coming?
Yes, I know that it's part of the curricula.
Okay.
Yes.
Me, I want to see you. My name is Thomas.
Yes, except
Doubting
that,
Thomas.
you see, we need behavioral change. They will be taught these good practices when they are in schools. When they get home and they see the adults, their father, their mother, their uncle doing the opposite, then they get confused. That is why our target must be a two-phase approach. Whilst you catch them young, you have environmental clubs in the various schools, learning good environmental sanitation practices. You have to target the adults, our grandfathers, our fathers, our uncles, who have learned all those bad practices so they can change their ways, so they don't confuse the young ones. I tell you, it's happening all over. There's some young ones who goes to school and they teach them all the good practices. They come out there and they see that the people they look up to as their mentors are practicing something different. Then they get confused.
That is pissing in the gutter.
Then they get, so I think that what we should do as a country is adopt a comprehensive behavioral change strategy that targets the youth by catching them young and also working on the behaviors of the adults so that the adults will behave in a way and manner that would not conflict with what we are teaching the young ones. It's very important. So behavioral change strategies are the ways to go. But how do we do it? Where do we start from? Greater Accra has started. What is happening to the other 15 regions? I would expect that it will hit all of us nationwide so that we will be able to clean Ghana at a goal. Other regions must wake up. They shouldn't wait for Greater Accra to finish before they start. It should be a national call for all of us to change our attitude towards environmental management and ensure that Ghana is clean, and it's clean as expected.
Okay. I would love to hear from you. 055-556-1034. Are you one of those national service people who got the message, a love letter from the authorities? Have you obeyed it? Or you're on your way to Black Star Square to go and get your sensitization? I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about Operation Clean Your Frontage? Have you cleaned your frontage, by the way? When was the last time you did that? Or you're expecting the local authorities to come and do that work for you? I'm just curious man asking lots of questions. Let me know. I'm particularly interested in the national service people because it looks like you are a key to the sensitization program. 20,000 of you have been informed that you're supposed to report at Black Star Square to be sensitized and educated and informed before you go out into the world to make disciples of all of us in terms of sanitation and cleanliness. So you let me know how things are going on that front. You're watching GTV Breakfast, still to come. So Thelma will be sitting down with the advisor to the President on Health, Dr. Insia Asari, talking all things COVID. You can send your questions ahead to us. And we have a young musician called Jibril Ville who will be jamming with Valerie in the last hour of today's show. A couple more headlines for you. So IOCO says they're committed to fighting organized crime. Government launches 5-day campaign to push for herd immunity. And the telcos have been asked not to charge subscribers for SIM registration. Okay, that's quite an interesting one. I don't know whether you've all re-registered your SIMs. Have you?
Yes, I have.
You're done.
Yes.
You're cool.
I haven't.
Prof.
I haven't.
Okay.
I think I've tried on 2 occasions. And
what was the problem that you had?
The queue.
The queue.
The queue was so long that I have to get
in the Medina economy.
No, but now they have put in place an arrangement where they can come to your school or your organization to do that. You just have to book an appointment and then get to them.
Is that what happened with you?
That's what happened.
Oh, so they came to internal audit agency?
They came to our office and then I did it there.
Okay.
You know, so you have to go online, book for a date and a time. They'll get back to you and then they register.
We are doing that actually. Because our students are on vacation. So
yes.
I think currently there's a date for that, but we haven't resumed that yet.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And so the call by the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications is saying, look, subscribers who are asked to pay for the SIM registration, they're supposed to report the incidences to the nearest police station or their service provider. So it's absolutely free. It's a public service announcement. It's a free exercise. Nobody should charge you for re-registering your SIM. The Chamber has received information that registration agents of mobile network operators currently registering subscribers were charging some subscribers for registration of their SIMs. For real. So if they catch you, you are in trouble. It's an illegal activity. Those fees are not supposed to be happening to you at all. Okay, we'll be getting some messages very soon. Thelma will come and read those messages for you. I've been looking at the Ghana Police Twitter handle, and they are very busy dealing with crime. You know, I'll just give you a sense of what's happening with Ghana Police. So recently, assailant shot dead following attack on his victims and a police officer at Kwabenya. This is just 2 days ago. Gang of 4 armed robbers arrested for robbery at Amasaman. Police are doing the work. 3 persons convicted for spilling concrete on a public road at Abavana Junction along the Pig Palm Circle stretch in Accra. Yeah,
that's good.
That's good.
The police are working.
Oh yes,
that's good.
Yeah, the downpowering fever is working.
It's working. Yeah. So a lot of things are happening there. You can check them out on their Twitter handle. It's GH Police Service, and you can see what the police are doing. Now, the JB Dankwa murder case is something that I just can't fathom why it has not come to a resolution as at yet. And so this is something just completely shocked me this morning in our trends. So apparently the postmortem examination report has been stolen in the JB Dankwa murder case. So the postmortem examination report on the slain MP for Aboka North, Joseph Boachi Dankwa Edu, has been stolen, says the government pathologist who conducted the examination, reports by Ghanaian Times. Dr. Lawrence Odisei, pathologist and fifth prosecution witness, told Accra High Court yesterday that, and I quote, after the postmortem examination, I typed my own report on my PC in 2016 while I was at a conference in Germany. Thieves broke into my house and packed everything. He said that the cause of death is exsanguination due to multiple stab injuries of neck and chest, and then because we do have the same information in the police hospital, I accessed it in 2018. I really don't get the import of the story because, well, you said that the thing was stolen, but the same information was there, you accessed it.
But Kafi, what has this man, what has it got to do with keeping a public, document on his personal machine? Does it mean we don't have an official, or he doesn't have an official machine to keep all those documents?
But even Kafi, from the legal point of view, even if they print it out from his PC, if I'm the lawyer on the other side, I'll punch holes into it. It cannot be an admissible evidence. It's a document that should be signed by him. So the fact that it's on his PC does not mean it can even be accepted in court to start with. And then it also questions the public record-keeping system in our public administration. Why should we build it around an individual? He's gone to Germany. The records must be there. Once you finish with conducting whatever, you print it out, you sign it, and then the copy is kept on file. So whether you are there or not, there should be somebody who can stand in, because these are systems. The country doesn't belong to you. The hospital doesn't belong to you. You go to Germany. So there should be people to tender this thing in. And you worked for the government. So for God's sake, they should not tell us this. When you say these things, it tells me that there's something wrong with the public sector as far as record keeping is concerned.
Big time.
And for me, we should take it serious. It's not because it is JB Dankwa, but it is because of the nature of record keeping. And this is what we do, and we don't get the required evidence to prosecute people who steal state funds, because they go there and you don't have the evidence to prosecute. And people will say that government is not prosecuting people who have stolen money. We should do something about record keeping in the public sector.
It's a big deal. And to think that this chap was murdered next Wednesday will be 6 years.
Yes.
February 9th, 2016. 6
years.
Yes,
but
why does it take so long?
It takes so long. Yes.
You're a lawyer.
Let me explain it.
Why does it take so long?
When it comes to murder trial, it's not as easy as that. Because the verdict that will be returned by the jury may lead to killing somebody or death or something. So it means they have to take their time.
6 years.
The other issue is also the evidence. You see, what people forget is that the rule of the game is evidence. If you go to court without the acceptable, the relevant and reliable the evidence, you will fail. So if the evidence is not coming, that can also delay the process.
6 years?
6 years, yes. If the prosecution is not bringing the evidence, the judge will sit in chair and the evidence is not coming.
Can the judge compel the prosecution to move faster?
The judge can compel the prosecution, but the judge can do and do no more, because it is the prosecution's case. And you see, in this country, if the judge discharges the accused right now, you hear what will happen in this country for lack of evidence. And I'm sure that is what the accused's lawyer is waiting for. It will get to a point where if the prosecution is not able to produce the required evidence, then he will make a submission of no case for his client. And if the court leaves this guy off the hook, you hear what people will say in this country. So I think the problem with us as a country is record keeping. And we need to tackle that one. Else, even our fight against corruption and all the serious cases we have in court, we may never win. It's not the doing of the judge, it's not the doing of the prosecution, it's the doing of those who gather the evidence and how we keep records in the public sector.
Let me read some of this account, okay, and get your thoughts. So, and this is from Ghanaian Times. On February 9, 2016, at about 1 a.m., one Asiedu and Boso, allegedly armed with a catapult, cutter, and sharp knife, went to the MP's house. Prosecution said Boso had assisted Asiedu to enter the house by scaling the wall on the blind side of a security man who was fast asleep. The court heard that when Asiedu was searching the room, the MP woke up and held him. A struggle ensued, during which Asiedu allegedly stabbed the MP in the right chest above the breast. Prosecution said the MP consequently held the knife, and Asiedu pulled it through his hand, leaving a deep cut to his palm. MP, according to the prosecution, bled profusely and fell by his bed, after which Asiedu stabbed him several times in his right chest and neck. Upon realizing the MP was dying, Asiedu left the room and took with him 3 iPhones belonging to the MP and absconded. It appears that we know who did the job. Why can't you just put this man away?
Halfway. You know all of that.
Put him away.
At every stage, you need to produce evidence. That is where they said it is alleged. It is alleged. It is alleged.
Hasn't this chap confessed, this Asiedu chap?
Confirmation, he said he confessed under duress. If he tells you he confessed under duress, then you need hardcore evidence. And that's why we have the Evidence Act. You see, that's what people must understand. It is not enough to lay claim. It's not enough to make allegations. Any evidence that cannot be proven in court for the court to accept cannot support prosecution. And that is why people must be careful in this country. You want to malign people, you want to say things about people, you have to have the evidence. So the rule of the game is evidence. If he went there with the cutter, where is the cutter? Who saw him going in with the cutter? In fact, he will get a lawyer who will tell you that you cannot connect him to even the cutter, because what shows that he was the one who held the cutter. So then they will say that let us go and do other tests. The standard for criminal cases like this is to prove your case beyond reasonable doubt. The standard for the defense is the easiest work to do. If I'm the defense lawyer, mine is to raise a reasonable doubt in the defense or in the evidence you have provided. So that's the easiest thing for me to do. So it is watertight. What I would say is the record keeping and the evidence gathering process is the problem of our country. If you want to prosecute criminal cases and secure conviction, it's not a doing of any judge, it's not a doing of the prosecution witness, because a different institution will gather the evidence, a different institution will come to court. The work of the prosecution is to prosecute on the basis of the evidence available. So if I don't have the evidence, how do I prosecute? So we should pay attention to record keeping.
In a murder case, who prosecutes the case? I mean, who works for it's the state versus somebody, right?
That is, and all crimes are offenses against the state. So it's the state that prosecutes.
So do we have enough state prosecutors?
Oh, they do. We have enough state prosecutors to prosecute matters like this. I mean, matters like this, we have a lot of them. The challenge we have is what I have told you, how to gather the evidence, for the evidence to be relevant, reliable, and acceptable in court, for the evidence to be watertight, to prevent the defense counsel from punching holes into it. And we can resolve this issue by being very careful about public sector record keeping. If we don't do that, we'll be in trouble.
So 6 years is small, eh?
6 years, I mean, some other cases can travel as far as 20 years, 30 years.
A 20-year case.
Oh, yes, if the evidence is not coming, or the evidence comes and the defense counsel punches holes into it, and in certain cases, they have to even exhume the body, and then go and do another forensic. And so that is why I'm telling you that, look, we have to be very careful. We just have to be careful. We should be careful about record keeping in the public sector. And that is our problem. And the way, when I go to public offices and I see the way files are piled up and all of that, especially our hospitals, I feel sad. Because if somebody is to sue the hospital for medical negligence, they may not have the evidence to defend themselves.
Record keeping is an issue. Well, we have a record of all your WhatsApp messages. It's on the screen.
Sure do.
And Thelma is going to verbalize those records.
Here's a question. Any reason why the GFA couldn't hire both Hilton as head coach, Ado as assistant coach primarily? People are still passionate about Black Stars.
No, we're not even talking about.
So the Black Stars issue, people still want answers. Perhaps we should bring some of the sports people here so they can answer. Hey, Ghana, if you don't have money, you are a so-called big man, the law favors you. Is that the case? Obia and Yobia, if you eat a ponche and I eat these incesawa, we all attend to nature's call, so all of us should be treated equally. As for the same card registration, if you make an arrangement for them to come and register for your organization, they'll collect something. My church made an arrangement, and the agreement was to pay 5 cedis. So it's going on. With regards to JB's murder case, the pathologist should just bow in shame, because how on earth could the sensitive data of such get lost amidst all other examinations gathered? Ghana and its weird way of records keeping. So agreeing with you, the doc. Good morning, Thelma and Kaf. This comprehensive behavioral change strategy being proposed by Dr. Osai is not a simple thing to do. Traditionally, in certain places in Ghana, every wall is a bathroom, every gutter is a toilet, and every tree. In resolving sanitation issues in Ghana, we have tried persuasion for so long. Let's apply for from trade fair. So when persuasion fails, force should be applied. There's a bit of ever here. Maybe CAF can help us. Miglona Bay, CAF, you can do it. One way and a step in the right direction by assemblies is to start providing trash cans in 100-meter distances around and within districts. They think that may help us with our sanitation issues.
The scrap people don't come and take it like they were the way they were taking name plates and selling them for scrap. I mean, what is wrong with some of these people crying?
Here's another message. Ghanaians want everything to be done by the government, even cleaning their bedroom. Operation Clean Your Frontage must be enforced, and anyone who refuses to adhere to the rules must be punished. Silas Odum from Mankesim. Here's a good morning. Good morning to you too. Good morning, Kaf and Val. I think we've done this. More messages coming in. Togbe Kafui, kindly organize GTV crew to go to Enumboso. We have bins nailed to light poles. Community, the only town with Parliament House. The town is well managed by chiefs and opinion leaders and the police to ensure both health and moral sanity.
To the light poles?
Yep.
Yes, why not?
So
you can't take it away.
That's one suggestion. Unless you take the full thing.
It does, I'm sure.
Okay, Trisha is joining us now. Good morning, family. Cleanliness is a behavior adopted. No clue about sanitation. I hope Henry Kote achieves his objective because it's a tough job. What's Fred saying? Good morning, Kaf. In this day that our prisons are choked, why don't we have a policy direction with which some offenders are made to undertake community service instead of prison sentence, so we can sustain this kind of program, Operation Clean Your Frontage, and it can go to all cities, towns and villages. Fred from Seshi. Kaf, even though it's been taught in various schools, I believe it's not vigorous as it should be. Fred is saying that.
Thank you so much, Thelma. We want to go straight to Alan because I think he has the Greater Accra Regional Minister
of Operation Clean Your Frontage
show to talk about what is happening today. Operation Clean Your Frontage kicks off today, 1st of February. And let's see, Alan, if you can hear me, I'd love to hear you as well. Let's see whether we can get that connection through. You can keep your messages coming in on 055-556-1034. It begins today. 30,000 people have been rallied to help with the sensitization. 20,000 of them are national service students, and we've got people, national service personnel, and you've got officials from NADMO and the security agencies who engage in the massive sensitization in the central business district of Accra, in the principal markets and convergence places such as Kwame Nkrumah Circle, where we took a report from. Let's see, these are pictures you can see right now of people at the Black Square, Independence. We are hopefully gaining independence from filth and conditions that are not very healthy, and hopefully our freedom will be a real one. And so pretty soon we'll be getting to hear from the officials in charge of this particular very ambitious project, and we pray that the pilot here in Accra will spread like a virus, a good virus, all around the country, so that people are infected with the spirit of cleanliness. Everybody say amen. I hear in Ghana, when so if we can have the spirit of cleanliness pass through, it will be great. These are pictures from Independence Square and the beginning of Operation Clean Your Frontage. You can see it. Pretty soon we'll be getting to hear from officials who will synthesize us on exactly what's going on. So the 30,000 people who are expected to first assemble at the Black Star Square will receive briefings on the program before they are deployed to their various working areas. A lineup of activities, as announced by the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, includes a 10-day sensitization program, which will see the team move from house to house, market to market, shop to shops, with flyers educating the populace on the need to clean their environments. I hope those flyers are disposed of very well, so that in the aim to sensitize people, we don't create more wahala with flyers all over the place. It's just a shout there. So they'll be telling people or educating them on how to clean the environments, as well as the health and other benefits associated with the project. The campaign will also encourage the greening of the environment. So it's not just clean your frontage, it's green your frontage as well. And aside from the sensitization program, the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council team will also organize cleanup exercises in some selected areas. These include Kanishi, First Light, Obechibi Lamte Roundabout, Abeka La Paz, the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, Farisco, UTC, and Okanshi. Now, what are the implications? Vehicles will not be allowed to stop at the selected areas, while hawking or selling on the streets will also not be permitted. We'll see how that plays out. Landlords will also have to ensure that the exercise is carried out in their homes.
and along the streets in front of those homes. So expect visitations from your landlord, not for extra rent, but to comply with the directive as far as cleaning of your frontage is concerned. Now, this initiative follows the passage and gazetting of bylaws under the policy which are to be implemented by the 29 metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies in the Greater Accra region. The policy is to make it mandatory by force for all individuals and in the organization to take responsibility. We'll now hear from the Greater Accra Regional Minister, who is going to be addressing the people gathered at the Independence Square. You're watching GTV Breakfast.
And your boyfriends to hear your voice. They didn't hear your voice. Let's go again. Oh, hey! 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 Ghana, 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 Ghana. Hey! Ghana, Ghana, Ghana. So we're going to try a song. Somebody help me if you know how to sing it. This is the way I want to go. Oh, this is the way I want to go. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is the way I want to go. I want to go. I want to go. To go. I want them to go. I bring you greetings from His Excellency, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo. And on behalf of the RCC, the MNDC is here present. And on our behalf, we say good morning to all of you. First of all, we thank the good Lord Almighty for making this day possible for us. We thank the Minister of Defense, Minister of the Interior, the Ministry of National Security, Minister of National Security, the heads of security agencies, the CDS, the IGM, the CDS, the Comptroller of Immigration, the Director General Prisons, and all other security and intelligence agencies for coming together to put together men and women drawn from the security intelligence agencies to do one thing. And I say one thing. Today, by the grace of the Almighty God, we are rolling out Operation Clean Your. Operation Clean Your. Our duty today is simple. As men and women of the security and intelligence agencies charged with the responsibility of protecting lives and properties, ensuring that we live in a peaceful and an enabling environment. We are to go out there and assist the assemblies and the task force to create awareness to the citizenry so they come to understand and they embrace the projects, Operation Clean Your Frontage. That is why we are saying that I need you to need me. This project is not for a certain and reporting, but this project is for you and I, for Greater Accra to be one of the cleanest cities in Africa. Now, I ask you a question. Most of you, when you're on leave, you think of traveling outside the country. Dubai comes into mind. What do we go to do in Dubai? We get there and we take pictures of green grass. Green grass, an escalator, and a fine 60 with the systems working. I want to tell you today, Ghana can become the Dubai that is be traveling to. And I'm saying that Ghana can become the Dubai that you are traveling to. Let us create an enabling environment to also attract the tourists to come here, so we can boost our tourism potentials. It is incumbent on you and I, as citizens of this country, living in Greater Accra, working in Greater Accra, sleeping in Greater Accra, and mostly we will retire living in Greater Accra, and our children's children will be in Greater Accra. This is not politics. This is not politics. It's a clarion call for all of us to come together and make Operation Clean Your Front Gate work. Summer and summer is what we are bringing back. And if I want to hear all of you, especially national service, we are reliably informed. Some people send the propaganda out there that you are going to clean, that you are going to collect rubbish. That is not why we brought you here. You are supposed to go out there and help us educate the people, help us sensitize the people. And I know that you can do that for me. National service as well. If you are there and you can hear me, raise your hand, somebody, let me see. Some of you are behind. So, security and intelligence agencies, thank you very much. Regional Commander, the Director General of Operations, DCO Peace Ranch, and your men, all Canadians, members of the Regional Security Council. I say good morning to you and thank you very much. We are going to go out there. Designated routes have been mapped out, and the parade commander will give us the routes. We will go there and will ensure strict compliance. What did I say? Hello. Thank you very much. I won't bore you too much. I want to be guided. But after the exercise, we all come here, and then we can say thank you to ourselves. This is not a 9-day wonder. We will continue with this exercise, and we want this exercise to stay with us. So that one day, when there's no end reporting, another Greater Accra Regional Minister, inshallah, will continue from there. I need you, you need me. God bless you all. Ladies and gentlemen, our attention has been drawn to the fact that our partner, or one of our partners, the Chief Executive Officer of National Service is here with us. Honorable Esibe, are you there? Good. And there is this question that has been coming up very often. I need to use this opportunity to address it. We are working with all the waste management companies in this country, and for that matter, Greater Accra. But undoubtedly, you will agree with me that some has capacity, some has the financial muscle, some has the logistics, and some has the equipment. It can only be one person. Just one group of companies led by the Chief Executive Officer, Joseph Siaron Medepon, aka Bolaman. So we say a big thank you to Zoom Lion for partnering us and helping us in the region to ensure that we create an enabling environment. And please, for the media, as a part of the security agencies will go to Agoglosi today, we will try to excavate some of the rubbish from there. And in the next 2-3 weeks, by the grace of God, the fence wall at Agoglosi will start. The contractor will move to site and start erecting the fence wall. And I say this is not a normal wall, it's going to be a retention wall, strong enough to withstand any flood in the near future. Thank you very much.
Frontage, you saw the Greater Accra Regional Minister exhorting his troops to go out there and sensitize the people
as to the importance of cleanliness and health. So these are live pictures from the Independence Square. You can see security staff, NADMO people. Okay, he's receiving some kind of a military salutation. Okay, it almost reminds me of the JJ days, you know? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so a couple of the graphic has a beautiful report on page 20, which gives you all the numbers that you want to have in the back of your mind. 30,000 people, made up of 20,000 national service personnel, and then you have officials from NADMO and the security agencies engaging in a massive sensitization program to encourage you and I living in the Greater Accra region to do what we should be doing all the time, keeping our frontages clean. So now let me tell you what else we can get from this. So the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council, as part of preparations, has engaged key stakeholders, including the clergy, heads of financial institutions, the media, market leaders, commercial driver unions, to make the program, which is to transform Accra into one of the cleanest cities in Africa, a success. So a task force of about 3,500 people, to be known as the City Response Team, CRT. They will ensure the sustainability of the initiative from now to 2025. They actually have a deadline. Okay. And it's being recruited to be deployed by next month, our Independence March, to ensure that people's homes, shops, offices, and the streets are delivered of filth. Okay, so there's an interview right now that we will be giving to you right now. So here it comes.
One of the days that all and Sunday come together to help make Accra clean and an environment for all of us to live. You'll recall that just before 2021, we organized a program here under the President Accra Work. We were able to get that in place to pass the Operation Clean Your Country bylaw, which comes in three different categories. One is dealing with the menace on our streets, the road and motor traffic regulations. That's one. And the other one is about aboboyas that we intend to restrict their movements on the principal streets and highways. The third one is to get people to clean their frontage and their immediate environment. This has been in existence for a very long time. I mean, we call them summer. We are just bringing them back, reviving those things. So today, as you can see, the men and women drawn from the security and intelligence agencies are here. They are going to assist us. We are not going to town to brutalize anybody. We are not going to town to beat anybody. These men have been trained to protect lives and property and sanitation constantly. So we are going out there to designated areas to ensure that people who are selling on the streets will move off the streets and go onto the pavement. Again, this exercise is not to deprive anybody from making this of a daily livelihood. Again, it is not to deprive those who help us in the informal sector. Because for any economy to thrive, you need those in the informal sector to assist you. So yes, this exercise is rather going to help them to ensure their security, well-being, and welfare. Indeed, what people are selling on the streets, a heavy truck fails brake, what do you expect? People are going to die. Pedestrians are walking on the streets. Some lawlessness, indiscipline is beginning to take over, and we want you and I and everybody, all of us, to get involved to ensure that we create that environment. I keep on saying that people travel out of this country on holidays, and what do they actually go to? They walk around in other countries. They walk on green grass. They go use escalators, and they go to a country or countries with their systems work, with citizens in that country respecting their laws. Why can't we do the same in our country? This is the capital city. This is the first country. We have to make sure we get it right. How do you sustain this? Well, that is why we have had a clearance from the Minister of Finance. We are recruiting close to over 3,500 people, who the first batch of 1,200 are going to training.
They will be out by first week of March, and then we'll deploy them onto the streets to ensure strict adherence, compliance, and implementation of the bylaw.
What's happening at Agbogbolusi next?
Agbogbolusi, I just spoke about it. Today, as part of the exercise, some machines will be sent there, and we'll excavate some of the rubbish there, barring any difficulties. By the end of February, the contractor should move to site and build what I call the retention wall, strong enough to withstand should any flood come over there. Immediately after that, the matter is with the central government, and it will be decided with a scheme, a proper scheme, as to how and what project should go there. But care will be taken, but for that matter, the interest of the community will also be taken at heart. I should football for those ones. So it will all be a complete package for all of us. And let me also put on record that apart from Agenda 111, who has been given some acres of land, no person, be it a company or an individual, has been allocated even one plot of land at that conclusion. And I want that to be on the record. Nobody has been allocated even one plot. It is only...
Okay, so that's the Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Quartey addressing the press. Let me give you more details about this particular issue. So there's a CRT, it's a response team, and it's interesting how the graphic put it. So it's 3,500 people, known as the City Response Team, will ensure that this initiative is sustainable, and they'll be deployed by March to ensure that people's homes, your shops, your offices, and your streets are delivered of filth. I told you you have to spiritualize these things in Africa for the thing to go through. So they're coming to deliver you from your filth, almost like exorcists. All right, so be ready for them, the City Response Team. So a whole host of key stakeholders have been met and been briefed. So the leadership of the transport unions, the Ghana Union of Trade Associations, the market queens, and some municipal chief executives. So Mr. Quartey visited many of the local assemblies to pilot the initiative, while some of the assemblies did so on their own. And they have vowed to ensure that the streets of Accra would be decongested for a cleaner society. He regrets the level of indiscipline in the Greater Accra region, says it's time to address the issue. He says that it's a national project, not one meant to score any political points. He's urging all of us, you and me, to be part of this. Direct quote, "This has been a project we have been yearning for. Now is the time to implement it. We are printing about 50,000 T-shirts for distribution. This project has no political language," end quote. And he says the assemblies were to establish transfer sites for the reception of waste. Government is working with Zoomlion to acquire compaction trucks, those huge trucks that just crush the waste, make it smaller. And for various assemblies in the region to aid the management of the waste to be collected during the exercise. And so Mr. Quartey says it hopes it comes to stay, and no matter which government takes over in 2025, he hopes that they will continue with the initiative. Finally, a committee has been also set up to develop long-term strategies to deal with the issue of sanitation, security, and indiscipline in the country. Lots of questions for me. 50,000 T-shirts, that's a lot of T-shirts. We need to know the cost of this program. Okay, flyers. I mean, these 30,000 people are going around distributing flyers. That's a lot of flyers. We hope they don't litter the town. While they are educating us about sanitation and cleanliness, they do not litter the town. So it will be good to have a sit down with the big people in charge. Let's find out how much this thing is costing, what the benefit is to us, and if in the end it can deliver the results, we'll be happy. If not, we will ask questions because that's our job. Gentlemen, any questions from you?
No, that's fine. Once we're going to invite those in charge into the studios, we'll wait. But I will also challenge GTV to do a post-mortem analysis of everything that would happen.
Definitely, definitely. Prof, as a man who is interested in policy and accounting, finance issues, hey, how do you see this thing running out?
Yeah, I just hope this is not going to be another 9-day wonder thing. I'm so much concerned with the cost here. In fact, if you're talking about deploying over 30,000 people to do a conscientization, exercise, which simply means that you are going to spend on all of those people just to educate people. The good side of it is that at the end of this project, they are going to engage over 3,000, youth.
City response team.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the employment creation here is very, very significant. However, the sustainability is another issue.
Okay.
Who will be paying these people? How are they going to be monitored? Is it going to be the normal members of the town council guys who are paid the wage bill, but we don't see them doing anything? So these are things, once again, comes back to policy. I don't know whether we have any policy in that regard. Do we have any punitive measures put in place to ensure that these people work? I am very happy with just the aspect of employment creation, okay? Because management of sanitation is a business. It's business. Yeah. Like you were talking, the Japanese scenario, they don't see waste as a burden, but it is business. That is why they separate rubber waste from plastic waste from paper. Are you okay? Glass. At the end of the day, it is recycled back to serve humanity. So it is very, very important that we manage it in this regard. Learn from good models. We have Rwanda around. I mean, as we need to know how they managed it. But I think this is just an event. We want a very solid and sustainable process to ensure that our sanitation is managed very well.
Okay, gentlemen. Well, I want to say thanks for your contributions to the conversations. Always good to see both of you. Dr. Eric Odro Osai is a governance expert, Director General, Internal Audit Agency. When will you be publishing the list of people who owe you money, who owe you reports?
Yes. After the 14th of February.
Valentine's Day?
Yes.
You send them a love letter?
Definitely.
All right. Okay. And Prof. Malcolm, what's new? What's new at UPSA?
The way Prof is laughing, I hope UPSA has submitted.
No, he's just a man who is in love. So when men are in love, they laugh like that. When I say Valentine's Day, he got excited.
Why I'm going to publish on the Valentine's Day?
Yeah. They're waiting for them to enjoy their love. And then 15, boom, it comes.
That's right.
All right, Prof.
Okay, so Kafi, let me use this opportunity to congratulate Dr. Ishmael Aka, the newly appointed Executive Secretary of PURC. Very, very. I mean, he was my student and a very good friend as well.
Awesome.
And they were the first batch of our degree students. We are so proud of them.
Awesome. Congratulations to him.
Dr. Aka, big congrats.
Executive Secretary of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission. Is he a former UPSA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hey, big ups to you all. You make me now want to wish I had gone there. Thanks a lot. And still to come on the show, we've got chit-chat with Jibril Ville, who is going to be hanging with Valerie, and your messages as well, and a lot more right here on GTV Breakfast. 1st February. How do you feel to be in the new month? What are your thoughts on the Clean Your Frontage? What do you think about the Apiety issues where more people have applied for aid than live in the community? What do you think about the same community? They're asking for private tents. They want to have sex privately,
Is that the reason why they have to?
Yes, that's
we have misinterpreted. They said they want their privacy.
They want their privacy.
They want conjugal relations.
Privacy can mean a lot of. They want to maybe advise their children in private and all of that.
I want your thoughts on these things, all right? I'm going to have my breakfast in private, okay? We'll see you soon. Don't go anywhere. Give me a tent.
This is the Breakfast Show. Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style? Complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service?
We've got you covered.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
With a trusted team.
So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn.
So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling helping.
And there's much more on offer on GTV.
King, fab and fly all day long. Thank you, Aku and the team. We are still talking about vaccination and the mass vaccination drive, which will get underway, and people are being asked to step out there and get vaccinated. And if you've already received the 1-jab Johnson or the 2-jab Astra or Pfizer, you're being asked to go for a booster shot if it's been 3 months since your last injection. The man who advises the president on health matters joins us now via Zoom to answer some of our questions. Good morning, Dr. Insia Asare.
Good morning. How are you?
Very well, Doc. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Ghana is just now going to go actively again into vaccination mode, and the hope is that more people will step up to get the shots in arms and get some protection from the deadly COVID-19. What are our statistics looking like as we speak?
Yeah, thank you very much. I will try and give you some statistics. As at 28th of January 2022, we have 1,485 active cases, out of which 15 of them are severely ill and 3 critical cases. Unfortunately, we've lost about 1,401. We've tested 2,247,579 people, and out of which 157,132 tested positive, and 154,246 have recovered, which means that the recovery rate is very high. It's about 98.2. And the daily positive rate between 27th and 28th was 107 people. 63 of them are in Greater Accra alone, mostly in Accra Metro and Ayawaso West. And then we had about 16 cases also from Upper East, and 1 case from Senate, and 26. And then 1 case from Eastern region. The rest of the regions didn't record any case. But to go back, if you remember very well, somewhere in the early part of December, especially the first, second week of December, we started having the 4th wave. We have a surge where one day we had about 1,350 positive cases. And that was the highest that we have had so far since the 12th of March 2020, when we saw the first 2 cases. We are in the 4th wave. We are now getting to coming down after the peak in the 4th wave. So we have had 3 different waves. But fortunately for us, because, and I will ascribe it mainly to the vaccination drive that we have Ghana, even though we wanted by the end of December to have vaccinated over 20 million people, or 20 million eligible people to be vaccinated, we were able to, as we speak now, we have vaccinated about 11 million who have had at least a dose, and about 3 million plus, or 3.7 million who have 2 fully doses, either 1 Johnson & Johnson or 2 AstraZeneca doses. And you are aware that it was all because of the acquisition or getting the vaccines available somewhere in the 3rd quarter of this year. We had most of the vaccines within November and early part of December. We are still having vaccines. As we speak now, we have over 10 million vaccines that we are deploying in this 5-day national vaccination you realize that the world over, what helped us in the Omicron strain 4th wave, which is caused by the Omicron, was mainly ascribed to the vaccination. Because you are not seeing, even globally, people being taken in ambulance and treated in ambulance because there are no hospitals, even though there were a number of positive cases throughout this 4th wave, which has started coming down. Ghana was not an exception. So we believe strongly that in times of difficulties or in times of war, when everything is cooling down, that's the time that you have to put your strategies in place. So we want to take advantage of this time that at least the number of positive cases are going down to vaccinate as many people as possible, so that what we had during the early times of the 4th wave, we can take advantage of in case there's any other wave. We can't afford to go into another wave because of the socioeconomic problems that we're having globally, not only in Ghana because of this COVID. That's the reason why Ghana Health Service Ministry of Health have taken it upon themselves that from tomorrow, for the next 5 days, they will go to every corner of this country to make vaccines available to the good people of this country. That's the reason why they are doing that, so that they have targeted about 2.5 million plus people to be vaccinated. So as you rightly said, anybody who has taken AstraZeneca, it's about 6 weeks or 8 weeks to about 3 months, should go for the second dose so that the person will be fully covered. And if you have not taken at all, this is the time for you to go and avail yourself for the vaccine. They will be everywhere. They are in campaign mode. So they will be in churches, they will be in mosques, they will be at lorry parks, they will be at any place, markets, they will be also at all the stipulated health facilities in the country, so that you make the vaccines of this in this country.
Dr. Ntiansari, what has been the biggest challenge? Initially, it was the non-availability of the vaccines which created a hindrance to people getting the shots. What now is the challenge? Why are people not as eager to take up the vaccines as you would have expected them to, in your estimation?
In my estimation, the biggest challenge is people having time to go and queue for their vaccines. Because everybody has heard about the vaccines, everybody knows about the importance of the vaccine. What is left is people to make themselves available for the vaccines. That's the reason why we will take it to workplaces, to everywhere that everybody is supposed to be vaccinated. Because that's the biggest challenge. Luckily, there are few, we don't have that problem with a lot of people saying that this vaccine has done this and this and this. There are the conspiracy theories are there, the anti-vaxxers are there, people are talking against it, but it's not as strong in Ghana as in the other parts of the world. So we are lucky. And why we are lucky is that even though there are pockets of people who believe or who think because of other faith or because of some other because of something else, they don't want to take the vaccine, they are in the small minority. And what you should do, so far as I'm concerned, is to make sure that we don't make people feel that if you want the vaccine, you have to go and spend some time. But let's take the vaccines to the doorsteps of the people. Once you do that, I'm sure a lot of people will take the vaccine, especially to workplaces, especially to markets, especially to lorry parks. People who are joining vehicles to their various places should all be given the vaccines as much as possible.
There are workplaces that are beginning to issue directives to the effect that persons who have not taken up the jabs or who have not been vaccinated would not be allowed access. Now, that is coming at a time when the conversation about whether or not the vaccination should be made mandatory is still not clear. What's your position?
My position is that no, we haven't forced anybody. Nobody has been tied up and then given the vaccines. So when I hear people talking about vaccines are mandatory, I tend to disagree with them. What I think is that everybody who is going to be vaccinated knows what the importance of vaccines are. And that's what we have to do. That's the reason why we are talking this morning. The vaccines are very important. They are very important to not let you be very sick and also be admitted or go to the intensive care or lose your life. And it's very important that if you are vaccinated and your neighbor is vaccinated, then the viral load within the community goes down so that we don't infect ourselves. It also cuts down the number of infections. We all know, and it's shown everywhere in the literature, that those who are vaccinated, when they get infected, most of them are asymptomatic or they don't have any signs and symptoms. Even if they have the signs and symptoms, they clear it as quickly as possible. And when they are even admitted, they spend a few days in the hospital, and most of them don't go on in the intensive care to be put on ventilator. So that's the importance of vaccination. And I believe strongly that if you all know that that is what the importance of vaccination is, then you get yourself vaccinated. And when the vaccines are available at your doorsteps, anywhere that you are, at your workplaces, there's no reason why you should say that you don't want to be vaccinated. And if I'm in the same office with you, I get myself vaccinated, and you refuse to be vaccinated, if I'm not very careful and I have any underlying illness and I get sick, it means you may come and infect me. And that is not what anybody wants, especially my colleagues in the health facilities. Apart from they themselves and their relatives and friends who are at home, they are also seeing patients. We don't want a situation where somebody will come to the hospital and then start charging us that he acquired the virus from the hospital. So these are the reasons why some workplaces, they are insisting, because of the nature of the work that you are doing, because of the number of people who are coming in and out through this place, we want as much as possible anybody who is coming here to be vaccinated. And the government is giving the chance to everybody to get vaccinated. So I don't see why you don't want to get vaccinated, so that if you want to go and watch football, you can go and watch football freely. If you want to go to any function, you can go to the function freely. And you're also aware that now, if you even want to travel, most countries demand that you should have the vaccination card before you are given a visa. So these are issues that we should all look at and then get ourselves vaccinated.
Dr. Ntiasari, in one breath, you're saying that it's not mandatory for anybody to get vaccinated. And yet, in another breath, if I'm understanding you correctly, you're saying that workplaces, for example, can ask people to get vaccinated or not benefit from the service, or persons may be denied services at some facilities because they are not vaccinated. So what's the link? It's not compulsory, but without it, you cannot access certain services, or you cannot even go to work if this continues.
I'll give an example. You know, visa is not compulsory, but if you want to travel somewhere that they need visa from you, you have to go for the visa. So that's how it is. It is not a force that you have to travel to UK or the US. Then you cannot just get up and say, I'm going to US or UK, because UK or US is all God's creation. So you just get up and go there. No, you don't do that. They require some things. So if in my workplace, I have made it that if you want to come here so that we are all safe, get vaccinated, why not? So it's a kind of motivation. It motivates everybody to get him or herself vaccinated.
One key concern that keeps coming across our table from persons who watch us is the fact that, for example, can you take combo jabs? So can you combine the available vaccinations on the market? In more specific terms, persons who took maybe the Moderna, which has not been in the system for a while, wonder if they can take another jab as the second, even though they took perhaps Moderna first, apart from Johnson, which is the one shot, the others that are two. Can you combine them?
Yes, it's what we call the mix and match. We've agreed, and then NITAC has agreed that you can combine. You can take Moderna. If you want to take Pfizer, you can also take Pfizer as a second dose. So it's accepted. The same way as we have now said that pregnant women can also have the Pfizer vaccines.
What was the rationale behind allowing pregnant women, for example, to now accept the vaccine, or for the vaccine to be available to pregnant women. What studies have we done, and what results did we make from those studies?
There's a lot of literature available now that the vaccines don't affect pregnant women in some trimester. So if you are in some trimester, the vaccines can be given to you. And that is a study which has been done worldwide, including Ghana. Secondly, when pregnant women get the virus, they become very sick than non-pregnant women. So we have to weigh all those things. And we give us vaccines looking at the benefits of the vaccine as against the reactions that the patient will get. So if you combine the two, it is better to give the pregnant woman vaccines than not to give the vaccines to the pregnant woman. It has been done worldwide. We have also a lot of literature available for us. That's the National Immunization Tax Technical Advisory Committee Group, which gives advice to the Minister for Health, sat down, look at all the literature available, both locally and also globally, and accepted that pregnant women can be given the vaccine.
So which trimesters are we talking about? The first, second, or the third trimester?
I think if I get it right, we can give it in the last trimester or also in the second trimester.
And you're saying that the risk of being unvaccinated while pregnant far outweigh that of being pregnant and accepting the vaccine for both mother and child?
For both mother and child, far outweighs it. We have seen a lot of very pregnant women going through a lot of problems when a few of them who got infected here in Ghana.
Now, there's also the issue of persons issuing fake vaccination cards. What's being done about it, and how serious is the situation?
Yes, we all hear it, but we are yet to at least let somebody come forward and tell us that I got this vaccination card from so and so person. We've put people around to check all these things. If it does what people are doing, it's very serious. Both for the one who is doing it, it's very wicked, and the one who is going for it is also not serious, because if you are not vaccinated and you say you are vaccinated, you are not deceiving. Whom are you deceiving? And we in the health sector, or the people in the health sector, are making sure that this thing doesn't happen. Secondly, you should also be aware that if your name is not in the national database, which goes globally, if you are holding a fake vaccination card, one day you'll be found out, because there are means applications that you can check, because there are barcodes on the vaccine cards, and when the barcode is checked and your name is not in the database, you can easily be picked out and then punished. So I'm using this medium to tell everybody that, especially the vaccination cards are of our health workers or the vaccinators who are giving the vaccination. Please don't do that. Don't allow yourself to be used by anybody, or don't, because of monetary reasons, do this. If you are caught, you'll be dealt with very severely.
Dr. Ntiansari, we heard that there were challenges with the verification of the vaccination cards, which have been resolved, but some people still tell us that they have issues. Where do these people go to?
But I recorded. But me send them a move. Okay. Zoom Lion, Kusi, Javin, Zoom Lion for a friend. See Japan, David, people see Japan. Nankasangasa.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbors.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast.
Not just any breakfast.
Sizzling healthy.
Yeah, all the time.
peek. Let's take a peek at. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate chicken vegetables. So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what is written on the back?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is The Breakfast Show.